turn my world upside down, a rush like I've not felt before. I can trust myself. I need you to make it turn. I know. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can't write our romance. We'll never be the same again. I could keep the light from turning into darkness. You'd be my escape. What have we been told? Easy to unfold. Future might seem out of reach, but we're getting close. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can't write our romance. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can't write our romance. We'll never be the same
Hello, guys. Welcome to Grappling of the Week. Hope you guys enjoyed WrestleMania 41 over the weekend. We have a very fun show for you guys today. A couple things to talk about, especially when it comes to our overall thoughts when it comes to this show. A lot of drama broke out within the week, but I want to thank you. But we're going to bring you guys all of the hottest wrestling news and highlights from the steamy kitchens of NXT next week. Same thing with AEW, because like I said, I'm just going to go a cappella here. We're going to switch things up a little bit. We mainly just want to focus on WrestleMania 41 along with, a couple little tidbits here. And I might as well just, go to Watkins. How you doing today? Our world champion, defending his title, never losing the belt. He's around 10,000 days with that belt. I mean, he's got the WWE Championship. He's got the Intercontinental Championship. He's got the modern WWE Championship in the back with Chikorita. I mean, he's holding it down for us. How you doing?
I'm also, multi-brand because I do have the AEW title.
You went all the way over to AEW to get that title too.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He
So-
hates Sasha Banks, aka Money. And he got the multiple champions, huh? I see some correlation.
Hate's a strong word, but yeah, doing good tonight.
We also have our visionary here. He had a very eventful weekend. He's heading down a very interesting route in the world of WWE with this new faction that he's forming with Paul Heyman along with Braun Breaker. How you doing, Vash?
And maybe we got additional names. We got maybe Austin Theory. We got other options of Carmelo, maybe a few others, Trick Williams. Where could it lead up to? Is there going to be a representative for each brand? Where could it be leading to? But it's your boy, the Humana Typhoon, the legend D-Vash himself. And I'm here as your visionary to tell you what could be happening and what Paul Heyman has said. It's not a spoiler. It's a fact. So we're here for it, and it's pretty exciting to talk about this grappling for the week because we had WrestleMania last week. We had a 4-hour stream last episode 13 where we literally discussed our predictions for the show and how could have gone down. We never thought Seth and Paul will actually lead a change, or like Paul Heyman has said that he's a Roman from 2020. This is the version that we're starting into his era, into his story, his vision. So I'm very excited about this. As Becky Lynch type of video we saw, she was all giggly. I'm excited and I'm happy.
Yeah, so
I love how your camera does the autofocus thing.
Oh
shit.
Oh yeah, there we go. It's
There you
fine
go.
now.
So it's been doing that when it's not
time.
supposed to. So like
It
you're
has
not
happened.
supposed to be blurry.
Yeah, I ended up having to like switch mines and setting because mine was all over the place too. But the main reason why I decided to switch up the intro this week, guys, is because we mainly just want to get it down because there's a lot of frustration that we really want to vent out when it comes to what went on over WrestleMania 41, mainly when it comes to like night 2, the way that ended. It left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, like Vash said when we covered Monday Night Raw. It just left a really bad taste in our mouths because of everything that happened. But Monday was a great
And it
show.
just got worse.
So, I mean, I had fun with that, but is there anything you guys want to tease before we get into the greatest wrestling media?
Because thing is, how the fuck would you have a Monday night show and a WrestleMania night 1 that's good? People have questions. Even ourselves, we're like, yo, what could this lead up to next week? What could be happening?
Yeah.
And then for night 2, this happened. Questions. Why did he come out? Monday, great Raw after
boy.
Mania. For, from the shitty Raw after Mania of the 39 because of Vince at the time. And then we have Tuesday for fucking Damage Control, not by Triple H. We had the worst type of Damage Control PR from this week and last week. Last week was Triple H and Nick Khan, doing their own, mumbo jumbo that we'll be discussing tonight. But The Rock had the worst one of all because he literally, out of all respect, literally threw Triple H under the bus in like, yo, I came through because the ticket sales was not going through for the Elimination Chamber. And then I got told, a great story. Yo, Cody sell my soul to me. What's up? And I'm like, bro, you're literally breaking those, like the kayfabe times 100 more than ever.
I mean, the best way to look at it, honestly, is if you look at how everything was orchestrated from that pay-per-view, you didn't really need The Rock because Cena could have turned heel on his own because of the feedback he's been getting from the fans, or because he's on a hot losing streak that could have been motivation for him to turn. He could have done it at WrestleMania if it wasn't the elimination pay-per-view. And, just considering how high Rock was when it comes to Mania, like when you think of one pay-per-view that man always wants to be on, it's mainly Mania. And he wasn't there, and he was a big part of it. You can't really say, oh yeah, Travis Scott was there to do it. I mean, okay, he didn't really do much, but we'll definitely dive into that later. But oh man, it should be an interesting week moving forward. I'm honestly hoping for the best, hoping I don't wake up tomorrow morning, or if I'm at work, or if Vash is doing stuff at his job, or Watkins doing stuff at his job, and we see some shit break out during leading up to SmackDown, because we want to head into that show expecting good things. But
and like the only teaser I want to give for our conversation tonight is, I don't care if you guys like it or not, just shut up and watch.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna we're gonna feed you that exact same shit that Triple H is feeding you guys. We don't hate Triple H, by the way. It's just that's just very weird. I'm not sure if I'm the only one that feels the way. That's like really weird to say to your audience. But let's tackle the greatest wrestling media. Let's talk about some stuff before we really start putting the nail in the coffin. I use that term a lot, and I literally mean it this time. But anyways, we're gonna pretty much when we do the greatest wrestling media, it's pretty much a segment highlighting any indie promotion we went to. But I can actually add on to this. News we want to discuss, interesting documentaries or interviews from the week, or anything else in the grand scale of pro wrestling. The reason why I said I can actually add on to this is because the SmackDown before Mania, I actually did attend an indie show literally right down the street from me. I didn't really know much about the promotion. My mom got a call. She was like, oh, hey, you know, there's an indie show going on here. You want to check it out? They were setting up the ring. Okay, went there. And just to tease another thing for you guys in the future, I actually talked to the owner of the indie promotion, and he's willing to get on here, cut an interview. I talked to the other workers. They're willing to get on here and do an interview as well when it comes to the other guy's brother that also helps run the promotion, so you can get some insight on him. Cool. Because just to give you guys a little, you know, brief history lesson about the guy, he runs his own promotion. He's also a wrestler as well, which is pretty fucking dope. And I've showed Vash and Watkins what he can do in the ring. It's pretty fucking cool. He has this nice little finisher where it's pretty much a buckle bomb that sets up into a spear, which I thought it was super cool when I saw that, when he showed me that little video. But that's my little indie news, because we normally don't talk about indie promotions as much when it comes to things that we went to. Last time, I believe, is probably when Vash and Vonnie did something together, and Vash shed his thoughts on there. But let's get into our injury updates, which we normally call the injury corner. And we have two of them. One that happened over WrestleMania weekend, and that is the first person, because one of the other ones is out as well, Tama Tonga. So Tama Tonga is actually out with an injury. So as of this moment, it is only Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa really running it when it comes to whatever is left of the bloodline. So this is coming from a report from Cultaholic saying Tama Tonga is written off WWE TV, with the bloodline member reportedly dealing with an injury. The former tag team champion was attacked by LA Knight in the April edition of SmackDown, with Knight slamming Tama's arm in a door to rule him out, being at Jacob Fatu's corner at WrestleMania 41. Pure report from Bodyslam.net, the attack was done to write Tama off TV so he could recover from injury, and while the nature of Tama Tonga's injury has not been disclosed, it is believed to be serious enough that it could require surgery. As such, it is unknown how much action Tama Tonga will miss. So I had a feeling the reason they did that thing on SmackDown, that probably was the reason why, because that's normally a regular thing in wrestling where they take this one person, they do a little injury angle, and they write them off TV. Unlike saying that somebody got attacked backstage and you never see any footage when it comes to Jay White, but that's another story for another time. Hopefully Jay White would be okay in the long run. But yeah, I'm pretty sad that Tama Tonga is going to be out for a little bit. He was very entertaining when he was around, when he did his little thing when he came out. What are you guys' thoughts on this, guys? Like, were you guys aware of this, like, outside of anything else? Like, do you guys recall the first time you stumbled across this, or, you know, shed any thoughts on Tama Tonga?
If I could go first, I would like to say, Tama Tonga, sucks that you can't be here. I'd love to hear you on screen go the whole time, and now in a Randy, the crowd even started to get you over with that, you know, with that sound effect. Do I remember when I actually saw Tama Tonga on my timeline? I believe I saw him and, you know, with Tonga Loa. I believe in the background, not the background, in New Japan, I've seen their tag team stuff going on. Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga, and his own type of repertoire as a singles competitor, haven't seen too much. I was hoping to see more of him, but sucks that he has an injury. I thought it was going to be like something like kayfabe, like he's out, but if it's something serious, hey, hopefully you're better and best of health, because now we have both of them gone, you know, Tonga Loa, the GOAT, and then Tama Tonga now, so that sucks to, you know, see and hear that.
Yeah, it just kind of sucks. I saw him briefly with his stuff in Japan, And I know he's actually, mentioned Cultaholic, getting some of our articles from them. He actually has done some interviews and kind of helped out the one guy who was visiting Japan at the time. I think they had gone to one of the I forgot what's the big show that they have in like January again. Wrestle Kingdom. So one of them went to Wrestle Kingdom one time, and he kind of helped them around, like showed them around a little bit, did a couple interviews with them and all that. So great guy, So having him in WWE is awesome because I think he's a really good talent. Just sucks that he's injured now, because that not only puts him on the shelf, but like you had alluded to, Drop. Now the bloodline is just basically Solo and Jacob, and we already know that they have some beef in kayfabe, in storyline. So yeah, it's gonna suck not getting our Gigi Gears, because between the Gigi Gears and the Fatu stuff, man, SmackDown is just gonna be just a little bit more boring, and yeah, hopefully Tonga Loa, when he's better, gets back into the full gear and all that. But yeah, I am gonna miss Tom, and I hope when he comes back too, they bring him back so he actually can do more beyond the bloodline stuff. Like, Don't get me wrong, the stuff with the bloodline was good, but we're kind of near the end of like the bloodline saga stuff, which is actually kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah,
I don't think the Bloodline Saga is ever going to be done with how many Samoans. Like, I bet you the next 5 years, by 2030, we're going to have a Samoan championship belt for all, all the people under that one company. I'm just saying that one day we'll, jokes aside, but I feel like the Bloodline Saga is still going to twinkle, sparkle throughout the next couple of years, just not as so obvious as it is now.
Well, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, they're not going to be like a family or anything. It's just going to be... they're part of the lineage and all that. Like, maybe down the line, like you said, we'll get more, family squabbles and all that stuff. But yeah, it kind of for right now, it's paused. The bloodline is paused right now.
Yeah, definitely. So the next thing I want to talk about is another injury that's on the list. It's the last one before we get into new signings, and this actually happens to deal with Rey Mysterio. And we knew about this because we spoke about it on our SmackDown coverage, and we also spoke about it during our coverage for WrestleMania over the weekend. And we ended up finding out during the April 18th edition of SmackDown that Rey Mysterio tore his groin during a 6-man tag. And if you guys probably saw the footage online, it was around the time where you saw him outside of the ring. He really wasn't able to move around or anything, and he was pretty much just walked all the way back because he really wasn't able to move, and that's why they kind of like panned the camera on different angles, so it really wasn't as noticeable. But obviously, since a lot of people have cell phones nowadays, I mean, it's kind of hard not to stumble across that. And then we ended up seeing the whole thing where Rey Fenix took his place at the WrestleMania match, and then we ended up having El Grande Americano go over in that match. And, I'm honestly just hoping for the best for Rey Mysterio, because it's just crazy to think that he's still going at his age, but I'm also hoping he's able to, push himself as much as he possibly can to recover, especially with another story that we'll touch on later when it comes to the recent accusation. I would assume he would probably want to be a part of that, considering how big of a deal that is, especially with like the news that we'll touch on when it comes to exactly how that might possibly be rebranded.
I have a complaint about Rey Mysterio. Not saying that best of health, Rey, with your health, with your groin and your injury and everything, but I'm starting to lose interest in Rey Mysterio, not as a wrestler, but as a character storyteller, because when it comes to Rey, he's in and out with his matches, if that makes sense. Like, for example, he got hurt, he's gone, and then Rey Fenix comes in, and then Rey Fenix still continues the loss that he was gonna get. I get it, it's all part of the story. We gotta wait patiently, but hey, like Triple H said, if you don't like what we saw, fuck off, right? But I'm sorry, I don't want to fuck off Triple H. I got just a small complaint. I want to see more luchadors succeed, and Ray continues being in the front and center. Like instead, like for example, just imagine your book instead of Ray. Like I'd rather Ray at this point just be the manager of the WWE. Like stop being in the matches. I want like Ray Phoenix, Dragon Lee, Lo Garza, and them to actually succeed as luchadors, as the actual next up and coming luchadors. And Ray, like right now, again, he's at the age, he's moving slower. The steps of as much as great they're doing. But look, he got injured. Like I'm okay with him being the background character, the manager role. Like that's just like my little side complaint of doing content with Ya for the past year and like year and 3 months that we've been doing this now. Just seeing as a critic, as a booker, as a fan, just seeing how like Ray, I love you, I grew up with you. 619, booyaka, booyaka. All those things are amazing. But like, hey Ray, I think you should be the background character. Like, let the actual wrestlers do what they're doing. I don't know if I'm the only one or if I explain how it felt correctly, but like,
no, I get it. And I think most of that kind of comes with his age, because he's been around for quite a while now. Like ever since like the 90s, he's been around. So I get that. And I mean, as much as people want to keep saying, because like that's the thing. Rey Mysterio is an amazing talent. He's an amazing luchador. But you can tell he is a bit lower now than he was, even just like 5 years ago. Yeah. So it is getting to the time where he should start hanging up the boots. And I think he did say he did want to start wrapping up soon. Like I want to say he said something like when he was 50 or something, but I think he's almost a little over 50 now, isn't he?
I got you right now. Double check. We got the internet here, so while you guys continue speaking,
I just always remember like the number 50 for like him, like, for like Ray, for John, and all that.
Yeah, because I recall that he signed like a 2 or 3 year deal last year. I know Dom signed one for 5 years, which he's going to end up signing more deals because he's going to be with the company for a while now. So
Dom has a 25-year career.
Yeah, so it's like I definitely expect whatever contract he signed here to be it, and then I'll probably be like a backstage player. I mean, hey, like I alluded to earlier, he could possibly help with that division, with what they're setting up over there, which would actually be pretty smart since he has a lot of background knowledge there. And I mean, hey, the perfect thing you could really do is to have somebody with that knowledge to really help reshape that brand. So going off of what Vash said, that would be like an easy way to really use him, because I don't really see him going away from the wrestling business, because I still feel like there's room there for him to provide his knowledge, which is definitely needed for a lot of these upcoming stars.
One of the perfect news we're gonna be discussing in the next 20 minutes or so is that perfect, like the manager role, like that's literally the perfect, or be the mediator, if anything, between
pretty much
them and between WWE. Like, guys, I'm not trying to tease the news, but you guys know what we're talking about. But I do want to say, Rey Mysterio is exactly 50 years old since December 11th. He was born in 1974, so he literally just made 50. So if Watkins is saying it's still accurate, he might be retiring by this year, next year. If that's the case, he already became Hall of Famer, so that's off the list. I do want to just add a little asterisk, because Google's telling me here, Dominic Mysterio is 28. This man is literally the same age as me by a year less, and Liv Morgan's 30. So to know where her career is right now, bless her soul, because she started young, so bless her soul for 30. And Rhea Ripley is 28. These people that already main roster, insane. Great for them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. So our next set of news, which is actually a two-parter, but I'll give each of them their own space to shine here. But they're pretty much fall in line with each other, considering that they are married. But we have Lana signing a WWE Legends deal. So she might not be under a contract with the company, but it doesn't mean she hasn't put a pen to paper on a deal with the company. Following reports, this is also coming from Culturaholic, that she signed a Legends deal. Deadline has noted in a story for official comments from Lana that she's indeed inked a Legends deal with a pro wrestling company. This is a given. Her husband's there. She's been his valet in the past. She's done other things behind the scenes. And I mean, again, it makes sense. You don't just bring Rusev over without Lana. I mean, it's pretty much like Woody without Buzz, in a sense, if that makes any sense. It's pretty much like the person that's always around you. That's pretty much what I'm alluding to. It's like you see two people together, you take that one person away, it doesn't really feel the same. Even though he could do things on his own, it's so great to see her come back.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, it totally is. And even if it's just a Legends deal like that, they still get plenty of money. They can still basically pretty much do what they want.
Yeah.
I don't know like the full ins and outs of like
Yeah,
what
me
they
either.
can and can't do. Like I know they can do some indie stuff if that's like in the tables, but a lot of it's just like appearances and all that. Like I think like when you look at JBL, because he was doing like the rounds a little bit on the indie circuit, I'm sure there was some. Yeah, I'm sure there was some loopholes through.
I believe
through all that
I believe he
stuff.
also made a guest appearance on the House of Glory a couple months ago. I remember that he did that as well.
Yeah, he
just
went
not sure.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's great to see this for the for the Lana deal. I don't know why, blame me, but every time I see the name Lana, it reminds me of Superman. That's just me from childhood. But every time I see that name, it just throws me off. But congrats to Lana, is well deserved. Rusev, I'm glad I could see him in his current reign since I missed him when he was in his reign a couple years ago back before he got released. So I'm happy to experience this. And I know every Monday when I'm doing the sidecast of walk-ins during the stream, I'm gonna be here, Rusev Day, and I'll be like,
Oh,
Yeah. Just to
Rusev Day. I'm gonna just join the hype, but I wasn't there. But
As
I'm gonna join the hype, like,
Oh yeah,
Rusev Day,
it was a
Rusev
great
Day,
time all those
Rusev
years
Day.
ago, and yeah,
It was.
just adding it in here because
Yeah,
the only reason why I
course.
wanted to keep them separate, mainly because he signed a 2-year deal with the company, which is actually pretty interesting because it's normally like a 3 to 5 year deal. At the very least, it's normally like a 3-year deal that they sign. So I'm wondering if this is
Yeah.
one of those things where he's like testing the waters, seeing where the company is. And keep in mind, this could just be my thinking. It could be something completely different. But that's just how I'm viewing it personally. He's testing the waters, seeing how things are, just to keep it on the safe side. And if he doesn't like how things are, he'll go back and do his own thing.
Yeah.
But the reason why I like that Rusev's back is mainly because this is a new regime he's in. So he doesn't have to worry about running into all those problems from before, and he can actually, do what he wants now. He can actually be showcased well. He looks different. I actually didn't mind his theme song at all. It actually fit very good with his overall presentation, and I'm very curious to see what the gimmick's going to be like once we fully get around Rusev. Like, is he going to have a mix of what he did before? Is he going to have that whole Redeemer thing carry on from AEW and actually establish it in WWE and expand it a little bit more? Because I was looking at a couple of, vignettes months ago of Russo cutting promos on AEW television. I really liked how things were orchestrated there when it came to that character direction with him. So I'm hoping if they, push him well and they, line him up for like the Intercontinental Championship or potentially a World Heavyweight Championship, because I can't rule that out. I can definitely see him being that kind of guy. I mean, it could happen. You never know in the world of professional wrestling. But I'm just happy because this is pretty much his second chance when it comes to a lot of these people that's coming back.
Oh yeah.
Same. I'm excited for it. It was just very confusing when me and Walkers were watching. We're like,
yeah.
"Sir, you coming out during the tag stuff? Okay," but then he just destroyed everyone. So then me and Walker were like, "Okay, this is fine. Destroy Otis."
Fine.
And then me and predicted like we might get an Otis versus Rusev type of match on Monday, which is fine. Two big type of meaty man smacking each other, and Otis is a good wrestler. We just have him more in the comedy side, and I really can't wait to see that. Rusev, I'm excited just to see what he does. I've seen him back as AW, but not too much since I slack off throughout the years. So I can't wait to see what he does now. I'm excited for Rusev Day.
Yeah, just have him go on a tear for a bit. That's all I want. Have him go on a tear, and then whoever's holding one of those mid-card titles, have him take it off of them, and have him go for, let's see, he's got a 2-year deal. Yeah, have him go for a 2-year run with some sort of mid-card title.
Yeah,
which I'm also okay with a 2-year. I agree with Drop. Like he said, it is also to test the waters, be with the company, and just to be like, hey, I'm here for the 2 years. If he likes it, they most likely have an asterisk in the bottom of the contract that if they want to re-sign, they could just add another year or something. So who knows? In the more in the detail aspect. So congrats to him either way. Can't wait to see what you do every Mondays with the sidecast on Twitch.
So the next thing we're going to talk about, which I also do have some thoughts to enlighten on here as well, is I have to listen to this tomorrow at work, but I did see clips of this throughout the week because I normally listen to like an audio feed of it. I don't really listen to like the, full on thing. But we actually had an update on Bayley's contract status when it comes to how much time is left on her deal. And pretty much just diving into it, this is coming from Cultaholic. It says Bayley has 18 months remaining on her WWE contract, and the former WWE Women's Champion is currently unsure about her long-term future with the company. I have so many, and this is quoting from the interview, I have so many things I want to make it into. I have so many things I want to make it into. I have a year and a half left on this current contract. We'll see what happens then, Bayley said on Insight with Chris Van Vliet in an interview filmed before WrestleMania 41. After being asked about what she'll do after her contract is up, Bayley added, "Man, I don't know. I think I've done everything I really wanted to do. Not everything. There's still a lot I want to get done, but done so much at WWE, and I've been here for already 12 years, and there's a huge wave of women coming in that I think are ready to take over, ready to be in these spots. Teaming with Lyra right now has been super eye-opening to what the whole division has to offer. I've got to work with Roxanne, I got to work with Cora, but even like last night hanging out with Lyra, we went out to dinner, which I did see, and we hung out with Michin for her birthday. But being able to hang out with her outside of wrestling, hearing her mindset and why she does this and why she wants to make it better, what she wants to make better, how she wants to help even me, things that we're going into WrestleMania, how she wants to be better for me makes me happy that there's people like that and women like that want to be better for the division. So when I think about okay, I might be done in a couple years, who knows? I know that it's going to be in good hands, so that's what makes me really happy. Where before, John Cena always says he couldn't leave because who was going to do what he does, who's going to take his place, who's going to be the one to put asses in seats, who's going to be the one that the kids want to see, that the kids idolize to the level that he does. Cody's doing that. Shout out to my boy. I'm not saying I'm John Cena, but that's a kind of mindset. As long as it's in good hands, the goal was just to leave it in a better place. You found it. So, rest of it's just little extra details. But I'm going to throw it to Watkins because I do want to hear what you need to say first before I chime in and bash as well.
I mean, I've always found that, and most of my comments are going to be mainly based off of the Four Horsewomen and all that, because I think that's kind of part of this discussion as well.
Oh yeah.
So Bayley, I've always thought of Bayley as like the most consistent out of the four.
I agree.
Like whether she has a good match or a bad match, she usually always tends to have good matches.
I agree.
Whether that's from her and her dance partner or just whatever. So, but not only just in the match quality itself, but even as like somebody that you hear like backstage, for example, like you rarely hear anything about Bayley backstage, and that could either be a good or a bad thing. But hearing interviews, like whenever she does interviews like this, it always kind of puts into perspective just her mindset of it. And she's somebody that I feel like would fit a really good, and I mean this in the best of way, I feel like she would work as a really good Natalia figure. And what I mean by that is, as the years go on and, she starts having to slow down a little bit, she can be one of those people that is a good in-ring coach, a good, like, television coach for the up-and-coming stars, And, I mean, she's kind of already been doing that lately. I mean, we were here, complaining about her having that match with Lyra to qualify for the Elimination Chamber, but like Lyra was still kind of. I feel it feels weird saying this too because she was technically almost on the roster for a whole year, almost, but she was also kind of off screen too for a lot of that year. But Bayley, I feel like that match was also to kind of help Lyra kind of stand out a lot. And Bayley's a very selfless talent to have on your roster, and Bayley will put somebody over very easily. Like she will let somebody win a match if they need to, or to make them look as good as they can. And so like her latest stuff with Lyra has been really good. because of that. And yeah, in a few years, she could easily, still be in the company, just maybe take more of a backseat role, maybe start kind of transitioning to like maybe producer role or like a coaching role or something. Because like, I don't. Bayley kind of fits the mold that like a Kevin Owens or a Sami Zayn does, where it's like, yeah, they could go on the indies and go on a tear and all that, but I think they're comfortable where they're at, and I think they're right where they need to be. And again, this is outsider looking in and all that, and despite what's happened just in the past week or so, when it comes to a certain WrestleMania match, again, we don't really know full context of what goes on backstage and all that. So who knows if she was even fine with it. But like, I did see with like some of the clips going around, like just the way she was talking, the way her body language was, something did seem a little off too. So it's like, okay, there's also that to kind of put into perspective. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just really two minds of all that. I would love for her to stay, but I mean, if something's better somewhere else, then go for it. But I mean, yeah, I think I'm more curious about what you guys have to think, because like I saw some of the clips from the interview and like some of the body language as well, and it's like I could see where people could think certain things. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
You're muted.
But
Appreciate it. Thank you. I forgot. Thank you for that. Good thing I did my homework today, because right before we started live, I think when I got home a bit earlier, I started to listen to a podcast because I was watching last night with wifey, because she also was interested about Bayley stuff. So then we just never got to finish it. Came home, I finished it myself. This interview, out of an hour and 3 minutes, I was like 59 minutes done. So like right there. But this interview, I felt bad because of what Watkins said. Is a lot about the body language. She looks happy, but she doesn't sound too thrilled of what's going on currently. Because she even said during this interview by Chris Van Light, who did the interview, which is a big shout out to him because he always does great questions and everything. And I like how he didn't impose on questions more than what it was. Maybe off screen, maybe after the interview he asked and is not kept on track. But I love how she spoke. And this hurt me as a fan, that she doesn't believe that she's on the same pedestal as Charlotte or Becky. And she even said during the interview that she got hired before Becky and Charlotte. And she's been in the company longer, and she felt like she's never gotten to that ceiling, to that roof of being on top and everything. Like Drop said earlier, as well as that with Bayley, that she has helped other superstars like Damage Control, like Io Sky last year, having Damage Control and Triple H talking to her, having these ideas. And she said the one advice that John Cena, Stone Cold, I believe, is what she mentioned, that the best advice that she got told is be a good soldier. I'm sorry, I work in this industry and I get told the same shit in the entertainment industry. Be a good soldier, be a good worker, and you will go places. And I'm sorry, that's a bitch move, bitch advice to get told. But what it sucks is that it's partially true and it's partially wrong, because you could be a good soldier, but you have to find the right opportunity, right time to be like, hey, this is what I got in a different advice, and it could help you or it could say no. But for her, she hates hearing no. She said it that does she want to feel like shit today? She could either accept the script or accept what she's being told and just do a good job and pull it off, and then hear good things back, or ask a question and be like, hey, we're not going to do that. And that sucks. A lot of people don't like hearing rejection. It's something that a lot of people have anxiety before they do it, or even during the process. And I get it. Just hearing Bayley, who deserves so much more, and even during the line, people have seen the clips already saying that when Bayley said, hey, after WrestleMania, things might be different. I love how Chris, he didn't pride. He didn't impose actually more questions. He's just like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, she just let us slide and just continue on. As the interviewer, that's a lot of holding yourself back, because you want to be like, hey, I could get a big scoop. I could get a big gossip once this comes out. But no, he just hold himself like, cool. I'm gonna let her slide.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the next question. And I feel bad for Bayley because honestly, she deserved better. I feel like she is the top, and Watkins said it beautifully that she's the most consistent out of the 4 horsemen. She's been here longer. She's been doing more work. She literally has been helping other superstars, and she has consistent character work. Some days is here and there, but overall she's consistent. That's something that you cannot get always from a lot of people. But Job, back to you because I really want to know as well. Like, how do you feel? Are you kind of similar to us? Because I know that you haven't said this. You haven't heard the full interview, and I know you're gonna check out this weekend. So, hopefully, I didn't spoil too much and everything. But like, it's painful as a fan from Bayley. Seeing her version from the hugger to now where she is from a character to the heel and everything. Just to hear that she doesn't feel that she's on top or in the same level as Charlotte and Becky, it's kind of sad, and I feel bad.
Yeah, so when it comes to me, Bayley's always been my favorite out of the 4 because of those very reasons. When it comes to her being consistent, when it comes to her putting into the work, when it comes to being emotionally behind her, when it comes to the kind of storylines that she was put into, when it comes to her winning the big one at the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn pay-per-view between that match with her and Sasha that really put women's wrestling on the map, which again, you think about how she views herself. She should be up there because if it wasn't for that match alone, women's wrestling wouldn't be how it is in today's generation. Her and Mercedes, regardless how you feel about each of them, they broke the barrier to really put women's wrestling in the map. So for that alone, she should be above all because that's something that the audience has been striving for years, and it wasn't until that very moment they were able to reach that. But I definitely feel for her too, because you can tell that there's a lot of people that care about her, especially when it comes to a lot of people that were running by her side because of all the news that broke out, when it comes to the things that she was saying during the interview, when it comes to just her overall position in the company too, because you got Becky, her breakout moment, I believe, honestly, was during that Survivor Series match when she got all bloodied up by Nia Jax.
Oh, yeah, the build up for that?
Yeah. And then pretty much from there, and then winning both of the belts from Ronda and Charlotte at that one WrestleMania where they main evented, becoming Becky 2 belts. That was pretty much her breakout moment. And then when you look at Charlotte Flair, I mean, that's Ric Flair's daughter. The story pretty much writes itself there. So it's like, beyond like NXT, she never really had that moment outside of like seeing Bayley turn heel, which was like a really big moment because nobody really expected to see that out of her, considering, how friendly she was with the hugger gimmick. But I mean, I really wish the best for her. I'm really hoping, especially with what we're seeing on television, because realistically, it makes sense if they were to head down this direction. But if they're doing this whole angle where Becky's taking her out to be Lyra's replacement, and then you have Becky turning on Lyra, you would think in the back of your head they gotta have like some big plan for Bayley if they're orchestrating all of this stuff with Becky ever since her return. Like, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if you had something happen where Lyra and Becky have a match, Becky wins the title, Bayley comes back, they feud for a little bit, then you have Lyra on the chase for a little bit before she ever reaches that title again. Like, you gotta give Bayley something big, especially pulling something like that. Otherwise, like, what's the point? Like, are you really gonna just like, if none of that happens and you just get like a regular run-in thing and it doesn't really push her to go after Becky, which it should. And honestly, I wouldn't be against if she even won that, if I'm being honest. Just putting it out there, because she definitely deserves it.
She should. She should.
Because Lyra's still young. She has many chances to get multiple titles.
Yeah.
So this isn't the last title she's going to get if she loses it, keep in mind. But it's like, you got to have some big plan for her, because it's like, I hate seeing people that bust their ass off they don't get as much attention as they possibly can. And then she's staying here, she's unsure what she wants to do. Like, she's happy to be in the company, but at the same time, she's unsure what she wants to do. And obviously you have the people out there thinking, oh, well, she could go to AEW, she could be with Mercedes. Sure, that can happen. But at the same time, I mean, I hate to say it like this, but I don't even have any faith with that. I mean, what are you going to do? You're just going to have her run in there being Mercedes' best friend, and then after that, you're just going to die that down real quick and just keep doing whatever. I mean, that's the only angle they're really gonna pull off, and I don't really have any faith in that company. I'm not to really give her a new light. Like maybe what Vash was saying could be a possible direction where you could have her, or actually I believe I don't know if it was Walken or Vash that said this
about the Natalia role, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
like the coaching kind of thing. Yeah,
yeah, she could easily do something like that, because that sounds, I sort of envision her to do anyway when she was done, because it made a lot of sense. It was also kind of weird to me how the whole Roxanne thing and her just got scrapped, because you thought that was gonna get taken to like a stand and deliver at WrestleMania, and then nothing happened with that. So it's like, I mean, you have like a key player in the division that's very selfless that wants to grow it. Give her more opportunities instead of people coming up there asking for things. She's not doing that. She wants to do what helps benefit the division. And if you want to throw her a bone every once in a while for her hard work, then do it. I mean, last year I was so
she's a
happy.
credible champion.
Exactly.
And she did say that she doesn't consider herself a Grand Slam no more, because she said the IC and the US title exists, and she said the North American title exists for NXT. So she doesn't consider herself a Grand Slam no more, because Chris asked her that, like, are you still considered a Grand Slam? Like, no. She said that. I'm like, no, nobody should be considered a Grand Slam no more with the new titles being introduced. I'm like, she's not wrong. Like,
she's not wrong.
Like I see on the same page, and I hope, because she also gave her flowers due during the interview to Natalia, who's still here for the past 15 years, and training other women, still being there. Also Bayley said that she had a match with her recently, so it just shows the greatness that Bayley is giving flowers to others. But this is my prediction: a year and a half from now, probably by episode 65 of Grappling of the Week, I'm just throwing a random guess, we might have Bayley, my guess, that she may be going to either New Japan, to the Indies. If she does,
it'd be interesting.
Renew her. If she doesn't renew her contract, because it's something I would love for her to explore, enjoy herself, or probably take a break. Or if she does go to a manager role, because she did say in the interview she expected herself to retire by the age right now she is. So if she still see herself, wrestling, probably become a manager then. Like, hey, she did say her knees are bad, her neck hurts from a recent match, so it makes sense. Like, the age will come and get you, and you've been in this industry for 12 years. Your bones and your muscles are not the same of how they were 12 years ago. Ask Seth Rollins. He's a prime example.
Yeah, and I know around like 40 or so years old, that's usually the runtime for a lot of the ladies. So that could be something that she's thinking of, instead of just being like, you know what, I can go somewhere else and can continue wrestling just for the heck of it. Like, she might want to listen to her heart and actually figure out exactly what she wants to do, instead of just pushing herself out there, potentially risking another injury, considering that the condition that she's in. Because even though these people come back with injuries, there's always that point when they're doing their matches where they got to be very careful with what they do. Like, I even remember that AJ Styles doesn't even do the spiral trap anymore because of certain injuries that he went through. He's trying to play it on the safe side and everything. So that could be another thing.
And I mean, just look at what's happening with what happens with Ray and Randy just recently. I mean, they both had to kind of take some time off. Even Kevin Owens, Kevin had to take some time off. He's not too far away from age from Bayley. So yeah, these people get banged up a lot, and when the time comes, it comes. So yeah.
So the next thing I am going to touch upon, which was actually pretty interesting, because I thought someone was just memeing this online. They were just another Wesselvos post. But we ended up finding out that
I like some of those sometimes. They could be fun.
So it says from a Cultaholic, this is a source coming from PW Insider. That's where they're referencing. It says Cathy Kelly is reportedly training at the WWE Performance Center so that she can transition to a managerial role if needed. She has also reportedly been training in ring and undertaking promo classes. So if you read that over, it's kind of funny looking back at a certain other person that left that didn't get this opportunity, and now it's
oh shit, I just realized that. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Blurry, stop. Damn, I just noticed that. Oh shit! And we
Yeah.
just saw her this weekend
Yeah,
doing
and-
her own thing, and people
and
was
if-
coming at her. How you do a downgrade from last
And
year
if-
to this year? That's crazy.
Yeah, and if you actually scroll down in the comments, somebody actually put a gif of her as well. That's another
That's
funny
insane.
thing. But I mean, hey, I mean, if you really want to, push yourself to the next level, because she's a delight to see on television. I enjoy her backstage interviews, or if she's in front of the audience doing things like in front of the ring, like she did a little while ago with like Cody when it's like standing in front of the ramp or whatever. I mean, hey, I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm curious to see exactly like what sort of role this is going to be. Like, is it going to be position she puts herself to help elevate another superstar? Not saying that this is going to happen, but is it going to be one of those things that we were talking about on Monday? Not saying it's going to happen, but we did talk about a certain faction brooming, and there was a person in there. But I don't think it's going to happen. But it's interesting that she's heading down this direction. Very curious out of anything to see where it goes, really.
I think part of it though is like, because somebody correct me if I'm wrong too in the chat or the comments after this, because I'm pretty sure like even if you're trying to be a manager for like pro wrestling and all that, you do still have to go through like some basic wrestling training at least. Like they do have you still train a little bit in the ring so you can understand what's going on and how you maneuver through the ring and all that. Because there are times where managers do take bumps and all that. Not saying she's gonna take like massive bumps like Superman punches and spears and all that, but like something could happen where she might have to get physical and all that. So like, and plus like you want to make sure that you're managing your talent in the ring, so hey, like you can at least portray, hey, I'm being your manager, I am trying to help you out, make sure you get on this rope right here, or like roll out of the ring so I can give you advice, like something like that, So yeah, it makes sense for her to do that. Who she ends up managing after this, or if she does actually do some in-ring stuff, I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see with that.
I would say congrats to her if she actually does get this through. Like I kept promoting happiness, celebrating. Maxine Dupree did a great promo that I was very impressed by. I didn't, it was unexpected for me. I don't know how the guys still feel about it, or anybody else in the community and the fans, IWC. But me, I really enjoyed that promo. I was very impressed. It executed really well. Her manners, and me and wifey was watching even Maxine Dupree doing Pilates with Sheamus, because if your wife is doing Pilates now, so I'm like, yo, babe, wanna watch a Pilates video? With my boy Sheamus and Maxine Dupree. She's like, sure. So it's pretty cool event, that me and wifey watched together. But what I really enjoy is that Cathy Kelly is getting this opportunity, and what Drop mentioned in the beginning of this topic is that Samantha Bar did not get this opportunity a year ago when she asked for this, and now a year later she's like, hey, Cathy Kelly, you're doing good at this. Hey, put the training, put the time in. But I like what Watkins brought up. He said a good point that even Samantha, any ring announcers, refs, anybody has to do the course of all the bumps and the training that they do. I would love to one day do it. If WWE ever wants to invite content creators to go, invite me. I will take the bumps and everything. I have high pain tolerance, and I still consider myself athletic, even though I will run out of air, but I will be there. Appreciate it. Thank you, WWE, Triple H. If you ever want to, fly out content creators to see it. Oh, y'all talk all this shit about this? Fuck off. But you know what? We're going to put you in the training course. See if y'all can still talk this shit. I'm like, word, let's do it. But that's all
that might be something to kind of look at for like one of the indie promotions too, like trying to see, like, get connection through that and be like, hey, give me a crash course if you can, blah blah blah, something like that. But that's
have some glory
off camera and all that. So.
Let's talk business.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So our next set of news actually took place on the pre-show on Saturday for WrestleMania. And this came out of nowhere. Like, they were setting something up during the pre-show. I didn't watch the pre-show myself. I was doing other things because I had like a lot of other stuff going on. But I saw the little news that came out when it came to the clips and when it came to like the articles that came out around this. And it makes sense around this time of year, especially in WrestleMania, to really put this out here. But we found out that WWE has acquired Lucha Libre, or if you just want to call it, AAA. And it says AAA worldwide is no longer an independent promotion, have been purchased by WWE. It was announced during the WrestleMania 41 pre-show that WWE has acquired AAA. No details of how much WWE has paid for the company were revealed. I'm not going to get into all the names, but if you guys you saw Rey Mysterio on there, you saw Dragon Lee, Rey Fenix, Penta Andrade, pretty much everybody that's in the company along for NXT Women's Champion Stephanie Vaquer. They were there for the big announcement, and it was also announced that WWE, NXT, and AAA would present NXT AAA Worlds Collide on June 7th from the KIA Forum in Los Angeles, California. And there was also another rumor that came out as well where this could potentially, and I say that with a grain of salt, this could potentially also rebrand it to NXT Mexico, which wouldn't be that big of a shock because they did NXT Europe.
Yeah.
And it's just a regular thing that they've done in the past if they ever headed down that direction. But what is your guys' thoughts on this? I mean, we did see Vikingo take place during a match with Rey Fenix and El Grande Maricano. So you already have him in the WWE verse outside of this announcement. What are your guys, overall thoughts on this?
So it's very, I want to say concerning. And the reason I say concerning is cast everyone's mind back to, I don't know, NXT UK, when WWE decided, hey, let's kind of uproot and just kind of, get all these talents from these UK promotions, all these indie UK promotions. And it kind of killed off the indie UK scene.
Yeah.
Now, granted, COVID didn't really help either at that time, but even before then, the indie scene in the UK started to like dwindle and almost die out. Like there was no indie scene at all. There was only NXT UK, and they kind of started doing it in America too. And I mean, hell, they're kind of still doing it as well. So it's just worrisome when it's like, hey, look, we got this. We got AAA now. We got this big Mexican promotion now. Isn't that great, guys? It's like, that's great. Don't buy anybody else. Don't monopolize everything, because when wrestling became a monopoly, guess what happened? Oh, that's when we had Vincent around, and when he got complacent, that's when things became shit. Which hold on to that little mindset too. That little comment that was just made right there. So it has me a little worried, as much as they want to try to spin it in a positive way. Yeah, it's very positive for WWE. What about the rest of the scenes? What about everybody else? Because, that's the thing. You need to have different options. You can't just have one main thing. Having multiple... It's like only watching shonen action anime. That's great. That's fun to watch, get you hyped up and all that. But you can't always watch that, or else you're just going to turn into a big old meathead who only goes unga bunga big old fights. No, there's so many more animes out there. There's mystery ones. There's slice of life stuff. There's Vash's favorite ones known as isekais, with the long titles. Like, I used to be a wrestler, but now I'm stuck in the Ed, Edd, and Eddy world as a chicken, and Ed keeps wanting to kiss me 24/7 because he loves chickens, guys. No, there's more than just so Vash, take this as your little hint. There's more than isekai out there, you freaking... Anyways, that's besides the point. Side tangent aside, yeah, it's got me worried. It's got me worried about the Mexican indie scene down there. Just because of history that they've had.
I'm not a fan. I'm gonna just say I'm not a fan. You know why? Because have you guys seen Disney? The monopolize 20th Century Fox, monopolize Hulu, monopolize ESPN, monopolize all the damn fucking Disney parks that just for a day pass is like $150, $300. They monopolize Marvel Cinematic Universe by the words you guys should know, because you guys have complained about Phase 4 and Phase 5. Phase 1, 2, and 3 was made by them, but then they want to get bigger, they want to get grander, they want to get Galactus, they want to get big dudes out here.
And
Who else did they monopolize? They haven't monopolized Sony yet. And I feel like I'm missing something.
Star Wars.
Star Wars, aka Lucasfilm, Indiana Jones. So they have monopolized. Disney has about 8 or 10 or less companies / divisions under them. So WWE has Raw, SmackDown, NXT, TNA contract that has them in a like shareholder, but not really buying them. Just they in cahoots in a way, like Joe Hendry, Jordan Grace, a few of the people that have appear in each other brand. But remember my complaint, like Walken said, stay tuned for what he said about his comment. Me, I'm going back to my comment about Rey Mysterio. Remember how he's like, during Triple H, he said, the greatest luchador of all time within the company. Like, yeah, I wonder why he's the only one. Because where are the other people that have showed up in the past 5-10 years? Sin Cara and a few others that I forgot in my head. Yeah, I don't say Cara. He's the only one I got in my head.
No, this man referencing Sin Cara right now. I can't. I can't.
Hey, good thing I didn't mention the one that just got released a couple of days ago, a.k.a. Alberto Del Rio. He just got released from AAA already. For anybody that knows why, go check out timeline. We don't know.
I don't think he did.
Wait, what?
I don't think.
I thought some dude got. I saw some dude get released. I believe was his name. Alberto Del Rio.
That was a Wessel Votes post.
Oh. Never mind.
What?
It was lying.
Someone fell for the West.
I did fall for that. My apologies.
Don't worry, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this news, like I said, I give you guys my examples, my poor ABZ all the way to F. Not truly happy about this because Rey Mysterio, he has done great things. But look at Andrade, look at a few others there. Some of them didn't look that happy or not. Look at the president of the AAA. She was stonewall, giving no facial expression. She's like, yes, of course. If you guys don't know, she will sometimes be lying out of her ass and bullshit. So I'm kind of mixed about this. Like I said, I'm not too happy. We just got to see. Also, why do you have AAA, the Luchador, the Worlds Collide event, go head-to-head? Not really head-to-head, but follow up right after or before. Because it's I believe at 3 p.m. EST, and then Money in the Bank is on LA at 7 p.m. EST. So it's 2 shows back-to-back. Great for anybody on Saturdays that have the full day open to watch both events. But why didn't you do one on Saturday and one on Sunday? But hey, is what it is. Tomato. Like I said, I'm mixed. We just gotta see where it goes. If it goes to NXT Mexico, sure. But it really just depends on execution. I love my luchadors. I love Dragon Lee on NXT when he was there for a short time. But then on the main roster, he's so inconsistent. They have vignettes for him, then push him, then drop him. Then we have him in storytelling with triple threats, and then with tag team matches. It's just so inconsistent that as a fan of luchador and a Latino, I'm mixed, like I said.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna wait and see where this goes. I personally don't care for it because I don't really know what it really does besides just add another table of I have this and you don't with WWE. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna have to see how this plays out. If we get any updates in May, we get anything in June. So the other thing I do want to talk about that I definitely have some thoughts on is the potential. This was going to be the original card for WrestleMania 41 when it comes to the plans. And this pretty much took place when it was showing the trailer for WWE Unreal, which we'll touch on briefly after this. But it was pretty much like their whole rundown on a little whiteboard about all of the matches that they were planning to do for WrestleMania 41. And I'll read them to you guys. And I'll give my thoughts on each one, and then obviously I'll pass it to you guys. So it says Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Okay, that's fine. The only question I really have with that, you could have done a little bit better to build that. When it comes to Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus or Seth Rollins, so this to me sounds like it was supposed to be a #1 contenders match, or of somebody winning this to get a shot at Gunther in the next one, because obviously Roman Reigns didn't win it because it says CM Punk or Seth Rollins versus Gunther, which, I mean, okay. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. If this happened around the Royal Rumble, okay, and I would hope maybe around the November time we got some proper build with that, because it's a big money match. So I would hope they had some time to really build that. Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax, absolutely not. That is way too soon to put Jade Cargill in a spot like that. Like, she just debuted in the Royal Rumble last year. You're just gonna have her come back out of that angle with Naomi and Bianca, and then she just gets inserted in a WWE Championship spot. So we just skip that whole storyline and just add her there. That's a little random. And again, I think it's too soon for Jade Cargill to be in a picture like that. And then just judging on everything else that I'm seeing in this card, Tiffany Stratton is not here. So what is Tiffany Stratton doing her own little cash in at Money in the Bank? I mean, you can't really do that too much. It's going to lose its touch, especially since you did it last year. Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Okay, that made sense. Wyatt 6 versus Judgment Day. You had some things going there. Looking at what happened at the Royal Rumble, so I could see it behind that. This one's a little random. Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch versus Io Sky and Asuka. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's all I have to really say to that. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I mean, we already got that. Okay. Wasn't as good as I expected it to be. I honestly did expect more considering who was in there. Bad Bunny versus Dominic Mysterio. That sounds more like a Backlash match, or like I don't know. That's another one that seems like a little out of the park for me. Like I would have just done Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio at this point, just given the kind of story that they were telling around the time, and they kept butting each other's heads. You could have had either one of them to go over. Braun Breaker versus Drew McIntyre. This one I can get behind. It's actually a little interesting with that. I'm just very curious to see how we would get there. And Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable. So Chad Gable would have actually got a spot on the card this time if it wasn't for El Grande Americano. But all in all though, okay, so we have some notes here. It says Fightful noted that Wyatt Tex with Judgment Day ended up being scrapped due to the both Dallas and Uncle Howdy being silent energy. Decision to switch Jade Cargill versus Naomi as opposed to Cargill versus Jax was made while the former AEW TBS champion was out of action. Plans for Charlotte and Becky versus Io Sky and Asuka were made several months ago, according to PW Insider. The pitch would have Flair and Lynch reunite around Royal Rumble and then build to a match against Damage Control at Mania. And yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about this. I mean, a lot of these seem very random, and
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a big fan of CM Punk or Seth Rollins, especially CM Punk if he were to potentially win a match working 2 nights in a row. His age, I don't really think that's a good decision.
So with that one though, so I think they were torn between who they wanted to face Roman. I think that's why the or's there, because it's like, okay, do we want Roman Reigns versus Punk, or do we want Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins? And then the other one would have faced Gunther, and like you could have. I see why it was back and forth like that, because like you could really do something compelling for either version of the match. You know, we got what we got with like the triple threat, and then Jay getting in there, because that's the other thing. You look at this list, there's no Jay either.
Yeah, that's odd.
Like no Jey Uso whatsoever. Io being inserted into Rhea versus Bianca. Also interesting to note from that, because it kind of and going over those two as well, because like you would think in a singles match between Rhea and Bianca, one of them's gonna have to lose, one of them's have to go over. So it's like the fact that they put Io in there and had her go over those two, that kind of speaks to how the company views Io right now. Really good on that. I agree with you with the Jade thing. The Wyatt 6 stuff, that is what it is. The Charlotte Flair and Becky thing, you'd have to do some wonders writing to make me believe, okay, those two are going to be teaming up again. But cool, neat, whatever. The only other one, like, I could see the Bad Bunny versus Dom Mysterio, because I think they did have a couple interactions when, like, he was going up against Damian Priest or something. Like, I think there was a little bit there as well. I would have assumed that would have had a stipulation added to it.
Yeah.
But like for a lot of these, I'm kind of glad we got what we got instead.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker versus Drew, that would have just been like that would have been hard. That would have been really hard to get.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see a program with them.
Mhm.
And yeah, it just sucks that Chad couldn't get on the Mania card because we got this new luchador that's sweeping the nation. But yeah, it sucks. I mean that's really what I think about.
Yeah,
this.
it makes sense
All right,
after you
so-
worded that earlier with the whole
Mhm.
Roman thing. I guess if you look at it
Yeah.
that way, you could have just said Roman and Seth, and then you could have just done Punk and Gunther around that time, or vice versa.
Yeah,
So that makes
because they
more
were already
sense.
doing stuff like on the house shows, Punk and Gunther.
Yeah.
Like they were already getting reps in, so they were kind of preparing for that.
Oh yeah.
But
When it comes to me,
go ahead.
look, I'm gonna just go rapid fire on this one.
yeah.
Could have roasted John Cena. It happened, so that's cool. Was it a bit weak build? Hell yes, it was. When it comes to Roman, CM Punk, and Seth, I'm a bit opposite on that, guys. To me, it makes sense. This was the case and I'm glad they did the triple threat instead for the story they given. It was better executed. With the Gunther versus CM Punk and Seth, I'm glad neither of those options happened. I'm happy with Jay. I love the little small type of asterisk that this was added during mid-January and everything. And we could see that because if anybody's seen the clip online from Triple H telling Jay that I'm gonna put a rocket on you and you're gonna go far. That makes sense. It's a new year. Jay has been going over the yeet has been going over the 2-time, spinning it one more time. So it makes sense that changed that. I love how they, did a small audible. When it comes to Rhea and Bianca, I'm glad they added Io. It shows that they believe, even from what Bayley mentioned, that she is glad that Io went over, Triple H believe in her and, having her go over Rhea and Bianca and having Io be the one to pin Bianca and end her streak, no matter what people say. Oh, she lost a battle royale. That don't fucking count as a pin loss in WrestleMania. No, she got a pin loss against Io. That's the end of the streak. When it comes to Jade and Nia, I am with the guys. This is too soon. She will that's too soon. And Nia is not even on the card either. She got lost in the shuffle, I think, by beginning of March or the end of February. So that sucks for her. Randy KO, it seemed like that was the original plan. Sucks it couldn't happen. KO, I fuck with the shirt. You posted the shirt that, hey, since this shirt's not gonna reach the light of day, the shirt looks fire though. Either way. Y6 versus Judgment Day. I feel bad for the Y6. Hopefully, best of health for the crew. And whenever they come back, it sucks that they got in cold. Hopefully, when they come back, they still got the flair. They still got the ominous around them. Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch and Io Sky and Asuka. This does not make sense at fucking all. If only you transfer Becky Lynch out of with Tiffany, because I assume like Asuka and Io, like old generation to current generation, and then Charlotte Flair old generation, and then Tiffany's a new generation, like something like that is what I assume could have worked. Why Becky Lynch? I don't know fucking why. That don't make sense when literally I believe Becky Lynch was on a podcast a week or two ago with I forgot what's his face, but he literally told like, yeah, me and Charlotte don't like each other, and I'm like, yeah, literally say this publicly, and you're gonna put them on the tag team? How? AJ and Logan, like the guy said, it still happened. It didn't fucking work still. Could have been a lot better or built up much better if that was the case. If you guys had this plan for the past 5 months, but you guys executed it like almost a month within close to WrestleMania, so that was very weak. I agree with drop Bad Bunny versus Dominic. It feels more like a backlash or like a Money in the Bank or like just a random PLE, not really like WrestleMania worthy, which I'm glad they included him with Dom and Finn and Penta, which makes sense. Penta not being here because he didn't get booked or hired until the beginning of January or the end of December. So congrats to that. Braun Breaker versus Drew. I agree with Watkins. Give me that programming sometime in the future. We may have something like that now with Braun Breaker siding with Seth. We don't know if Drew may join him or Drew might be against them. So Braun Breaker is still being involved. Maybe we might get that in the sometime future. So funny to see Chad Gable name still there, even though he was kind of there in this WrestleMania, and Rey Mysterio was not there. It was given to Rey Fenix. So this was still a good lineup, just a bit things here and there and change. Also, Street Profits was still not involved there. No tag team was fucking involved here in this fucking lineup either.
Yeah.
So like, hey, Triple H, great lineup. Where's your tag team division? Where's your woman division? Where's your mid card division of the US and the IC title? Because you got them already doing tournaments in December. So it seems like you didn't even bother including them now one fucking bit. Just saying.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
So that's strange. So this is a good transition to talk about what is strange, because Drop mentioned in the beginning of this topic about the WrestleMania 41 leak change. Where did it get leaked from? It got leaked from a fucking trailer. Sorry guys for my aggressiveness, because I work in the entertainment industry as a full-time in a way, doing content and also my day job, and I'm pissed. Because I know why they're doing this, because of Netflix. They're definitely acting, because no way Triple H actually approved this. Because we're having a behind the curtain of the damn writer's room. Why? This literally is a script show, and people for the past 25, 30 years, maybe 40 years, have literally using the same thing on news anchors, on podcasts. People have commented on the timeline, hey guys, why do you still care who won, who lose, or why do you care about A.K. The Rock talking about, he got brought this for this reason? Because it's scripted. And now you're going to unveil the extra layer that we don't like to talk about, or, make theories about rumors and everything. Now you're going to reveal the fucking writer's room.
Well, see, here's the thing with that, because WWE's only gonna show what they want us to see. Like, they're not gonna show us all the nitty gritty things. They're not gonna show, and the thing is too, because this is what comes with like seeing what could have been with WrestleMania 41. This is stuff that's already happened. Like, it's not stuff that's going to happen or anything like that unless we see clues or hints or anything. But again, WWE's only going to let us see what they want us to see.
True, exactly. They have those editors.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, can you actually blur that out? That's not supposed to be there, which is 100% true. But it's like, knowing that we got this leaks is because the trailer showed it, and it was so zoomed out. It was in the corner of the opposite direction of where the camera is, and we saw it because of that leak. Yeah.
There are some other things to kind of note from that trailer too. One of them being, and somebody could help me with a screenshot too from this trailer. There were no women in that writing room.
Nope.
No. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
No woman in that writing room.
There's men. I did see some people even bring that up on X.
Yeah, like not to be like that, but I mean also to be like that. Like, come on, people, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Let's do a little better with that. I mean, I'm probably with the guys here too. I'm still gonna check it out. It's just I have that in my mind. Just this is a WWE product. They're not gonna reveal everything, but because they're doing this weird thing where it's like they're showing us a lot of this backstage stuff. Like, it's one thing to have like those programs like WWE 24. I think it was, or like the 365 where they followed somebody around for like a whole year and all that. Like that's one thing, because that's actually kind of cool, just seeing like their life and all that, like their lives on the road, or like, for example, like they had an episode of WWE 24 where it was Edge when he came back at the Royal Rumble, and that was actually kind of cool because like you got to see him like kind of sneak in a little bit, and just like him talking to some other people too, and how grateful they were that he was back and doing well and everything. So like those things are fine, but this one's going to be taken with like a big old truckload of salt whenever they say shit. Kind of the same with like LFG in a way, because it's like, okay, they're obviously training the people, it's still that kind of thing, but when you have freaking Bubba Ray Dudley on there being like, you could have horribly done something wrong here, it's just like, dude, chill out.
Yeah,
like
that's why I haven't watched LFG, because Evolve I don't mind, because they're like does like NXT 205 or does main events. Like I don't mind Evolve because it's like a smaller version, and I think like a 30-minute episode from what Drop has told me before. LFG is a cool concept, but like I work in the industry, so I know the behind the scenes of a lot of things. Has it ruined my movie going experience? No. Has it ruined my TV experience? I know animation has a ruined my animation experience. No. I love the work more, but when it comes to WWE, who's a sports entertainment product, but it's a story-driven script format product, and you want to reveal the coaches, tell the guys how to do this, how to improve, or give life lessons, cool, that's fine. I don't mind LFG. I like it. I love it when Drop tells me about it. This person, or he puts a clip in the thread. Awesome. I look through it. But when it comes to the writers' room, like I've been in writers' room for shows and TV shows. I hear things. There are times I forget what I heard and everything. I'm supposed to sign NDAs. All done. But like to actually show and review, even if it was past things, you will have fans critique like, oh, I see what could have done, but yeah, did this. Yeah, should have done that instead. We're gonna have those fans. I know when the first episode comes out, we're gonna probably do like a Grappling Week special and probably review the first episode, or we're gonna probably review here or something. But I'm excited for it nonetheless. It's just more skeptical. Why y'all doing this? And please don't shoot yourself in the foot where it might happen.
Yeah,
that's all I got for that one. I got more shit for other stuff, but that's what I'm I mostly got the most.
Yeah, I don't really have much on it. I mean, I'm very skeptical on it, but I'll see where it goes just for the heck of it, because the fact that it's the fact that it's a thing, I mean, we'll just see where it goes. So
exactly.
So the next thing that we'll talk about is actually something that took place over the weekend. It was a new thing that they decided to bring to the table, which was the WrestleMania roast. I don't know why this is a thing, because I feel like roast should just stick with, you know, comedians. If you want to have something on like Adam Sandler or, you know, or like whoever the case may be, people that fall in that realm. I don't really understand why we're merging two different worlds with each other. And I even saw stuff today that a lot of people are like, oh yeah, this wasn't a good idea, wasn't getting a good reception and everything. But I actually did end up seeing, you know, something last night where it's like all of the audio got leaked.
Oh yeah,
when it came to
hour and 32 minutes.
Yeah, and I honestly wouldn't recommend listening to it, because it sounds like you're listening from a fucking potato. But it's basically just, and we're not going to really acknowledge it as much because it really doesn't need as much recognition as it is. But it was just people just going back and forth. I do recall Nia saying some things about Cody. She said some things about Charlotte, Michael Cole. Just essentially just putting the wrestlers in a different spot, talking about their colleagues and everything, or the host himself talking about certain wrestlers or whatever, which it's just really weird. Like it just doesn't it just doesn't fit in like WWE the way they were going along with things. And I understand it's like a roast at the end of the day, but it almost kind of felt like to me that some of the people up there didn't really know how to really present themselves when they were doing this, because this isn't the kind of environment that they're in. So they kind of had to like think of stuff on the spot just to like, you know, shit on one of their friends or whatever, just to get a good laugh or whatever. There was some stuff I did see on there that was pretty bizarre, but obviously I'm not going to repeat any of it on there. So if you guys want to venture on the interwebs and find out exactly what those people said within there, I mean, hey, so be it. The internet is there for you. But you know,
if you can find it, because apparently, like, because this was something that came on before we started.
Yeah.
Apparently, WWE are trying to do some damage control and sending out a bunch of DMCA's to people and like trying to like delete any recordings that they have that are up, like circulated and all that. So like, yeah, if you're able to hear it, you know, more power to you. But I mean, yeah, I'm kind of just in the same boat as you. Like, I don't want to give it too much attention, but at the same time, it's like when you see, because I didn't hear anything either, but I did see like what was said at certain points, and it's just like that's not even a roast at a point. Like,
I just shots fired.
Was this just an excuse to kind of let people just vent their frustrations at each other? Which I mean, if that's the case, just
that's what it sounded like, especially in Nia's end, the way that she was talking about Charlotte and everything. the Cody thing, I didn't really get as much. Like
That's whatever.
that's
Like,
whatever, and I highly doubt Cody really gives a shit because he's making the big bucks and you're not even on television. But that's another story for another day. No disrespect towards her, but creative isn't really doing anything with that.
Yeah.
But it's
Look,
like,
chat, if you have any thoughts about this, please let us know in the stream or let us know in the comment section. Because all I'm gonna say as well, the same thing as the guys, because we have no positive thoughts about this. We even said this last week in our prediction. We said this weeks ago during Raw and SmackDown coverage. Like, why are you doing this roast? They're still promoting it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And look, the after parties, good for them. Liv, Raquel, and all those other superstars had the best time. Liv, gorgeous as hell, bless her soul. A girl knows how to party, girl knows how to be the party. But also makes sense because you know why? Chat, yeah, I need to remember they're on PST. They're the most farthest back of time before anyone else. So we here are talking right now at 10 p.m. EST. They're right now at 7 p.m. So it makes sense that if their showing starts at 7, they're done at 10 for us, but they're still at 7 p.m. over there. So they could still do more parties, do more events. So they enjoy Las Vegas. Totally understandable. But out of everything they did, the WrestleCon, WrestleMania Night 1, 2, the kickoff, the pre-show, out of all the events, Hall of Fame, and this was one of the dumbest things. Not Hall of Fame itself, but the timing. That's one, because 1 a.m. I felt bad for Booker and all of them. But the leak, the roast of this shit, this is an embarrassment.
Yeah,
I've been part of work jobs that have roasts from shows that have been done, and I've seen actors. I don't think I can name them because I did sign NDAs for those things. But I've seen actors done roasts. They do better roasts than anybody that I've heard clips of from WWE. People need to understand, roast is jokes that are not hit directly to you, but friendly. And they did horrible jobs. Yeah. There's been, I think, a roast from that football player that I met him. Manning. I can't remember his full name. But Manning, he got a roast a couple years ago, and that was actually funny. There was one of Justin Bieber and a few others. Those were all right. Yeah, but when it comes to this one, these were embarrassment, and I feel bad for any superstar like herself. Charlotte, girl just tweeted, said, "I don't know, I'm gonna just wrestle." Girl, bless your soul, because you got shots fired when you weren't even there, or if you were, or whatever it was. You just got to do your thing, because anybody and everybody's gonna hate you. But if you just do your thing and just move out, stay in your own circle, do your thing, Charlotte. That's what I'm saying. But when it comes to this roast, I'm happy WWE is doing the best they can, because this should have never seen the light of day. People should have actually paid attention. The security should have been better. There should have been NDAs as well. I don't know if you can sign everyone NDAs in that type of auditorium, but the phones, pocket checkers, everything should have been a lot better, because I've been to roasts for jobs and they literally do take your phones. They literally check your pocket security. That should have been the thing.
Here's a better idea. Just don't do it.
Or just don't record it either. If this was a one-time thing that was not supposed to get leaked, don't record it.
If you really want to do this, then have it as a private event for your own people. Like, just do that if you fully want to do something like that. Like,
you'll have fans have it private. Don't have to experience that like that. That's a border that, like, cool. There's television, like, for example, I believe Drew McIntyre put a post the week before saying, "Hey guys, don't call our actual names. We are a character personality. Where they're ordering, respect our hotels, the airports." That's something that Triple H be like, "Hey, maybe this roasting is not a good idea. Like, it's not the best option. You're embarrassing superstars. They have fans there that have leaks now." People that went to the event, they say it wasn't that good. People that talk about it haven't spoken about it because they said it's embarrassment to talk about it. That's all I got. Don't do it. Because
I'm good.
You should have better PR people. Remember what I said about that in the next topic.
Yeah. Especially making sure that those people aren't named Dwayne.
Yeah.
Or named Johnson. Yeah. And Johnson.
Yeah. And anyways, guys, I mean, I'm just going to say fuck the WrestleMania roast, and I just hope it's never a thing again. And speaking of our main event for tonight, which is going to be a 3-on-1 walk-ins, drop, and Vash against Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, The Rock decided to stir the pot this week by saying a lot of stuff that he didn't need to say. And this stems off from his appearance on the Pat McAfee Show. which happens a day after the Monday Night Raw after Mania, where he pretty much goes on there. Pat has an interview with him. I mean, Pat's definitely selling Gunther's attack very well, so appreciate that. And
before we begin this article up, it is very long, so if you want to switch off between like each little thing he says,
yeah,
oh, yeah,
I do see it
because it is pretty lengthy. This is like the big stuff that he said in this in this interview.
Yeah, I'll try to run through it as quick as I can.
Yeah,
it's a mouthful. Like if I do get take a break, go back and forth with what he said overall, because it's a lot. It's a mouthful for us to break this down.
Yeah, well, I did say we were tag teaming it, going up against the guys. So
yeah.
So we can do that. So pretty much, I'll just start off from the beginning. So it says The Rock was heavily involved in the build to WrestleMania 41, bringing about John Cena's heel turn on Cody Rhodes at the Elimination Chamber after Cody turned down selling his soul to the final boss. We hadn't been announced at WrestleMania or was hardly mentioned following Elimination Chamber. Just going to say this out here. Didn't really need to. I mean, you're already a foot into the story. Why do you need to be announced for WrestleMania?
Yeah.
The exception amongst fans with The Rock would make an appearance during the main event of WrestleMania 41 to help Cena defeat Rhodes for the undisputed title. People within WWE even thought it was likely Dwayne Johnson would be involved in WrestleMania in some capacity. That isn't what happened, though, and Travis Scott instead helped Cena beat Rhodes to become a 17-time world champion, with Dwayne Johnson nowhere to be seen. Appearing on the Pat McAfee Show, Dwayne Johnson revealed how his Elimination Chamber appearance came together following a call from TKO CEO Ariel Manuel. So it says right here, I got a call about a month before Elimination Chamber. I got a call from Ari Emanuel. He said, we need help at Elimination Chamber. Ticket sales are a little low, but beyond that, what we are finding is with Elimination Chamber, it's become the pay-per-view that has become interesting. Fans have had fun, but it's also
conduit.
Yeah, my fucking thing buffered.
Oh,
but it's also the. So basically, I'm just gonna break it down right here. He pretty much just broke the fourth wall, saying the Elimination Chamber sales were bombed. So you needed The Rock to come and swoop in to fix everything when it came to this whole storyline with Cody Rhodes. So I already saw your reaction when I was reading this, Watkins. Like, I'm just gonna say this like straight up. Like, why are you publicly coming out and saying that the company isn't doing well when it comes to sales? If that even is true, because the way The Rock is going, I'm starting to believe it's like Hulk Hogan telling stories about getting hit in the face of a jet ski and surviving it when that's not even impossible. It's just the way that he's coming and saying these things, it's honestly hard to believe. But it's like, you don't come out there and say, oh, the business isn't doing good, so I had to do this in order for everything to come together. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
As far as I know, everything was in place. Everything made sense. People were tuned in because they give a fuck about Cena appearing at his last Elimination Chamber match. You got CM Punk in there. You got Seth Rollins in there. You got a lot of key players in that match. You know, same with the women's. So it's like, why?
Yeah. Oh. Well, here's the thing. This is what what baffles me. It's the fact that every PLE we have, during every single little press conference they have, what does Triple H do first? He runs down the numbers. He goes, this was the biggest gate that we have ever had in the city. That. Say, like, touting how much ticket sales that they've had. And you're going to come on here and say, oh, Elimination Chamber was struggling, so they needed to call me there. Like, bullshit for one on that.
Bullshit.
But the other thing, too, is, I don't know, maybe lower your prices so people can actually freaking go to your events.
Yep.
Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, oh, you should lower them super low, because, you know, your product is getting better, it is getting bigger, you know, there should be a bit of exclusivity to it, don't get me wrong there, but, like, not to the point where, like Vash over here, he had looked up seats for SummerSlam this coming
Oh, yeah.
SummerSlam.
I
And
did.
what
I did.
they were all the way in the back, weren't they? Like
Yes. These were all,
how much were they? How much
So-
were they?
so this was all the way in the back, and I believe it was $800 per person. But I want to asterisk, this was for 2 nights. So if to me it's obvious thing that I should do is check for 2 nights, because if I'm gonna be there for 2 days, I would like to go both nights and experience the event. Why would I want to experience one that depends on the budget cuts. But 2 nights per person, all the way in the top in the MetLife Stadium, $800 per person.
Yeah.
2 nights.
Well, see,
What?
that's the thing. That's the thing. Just break that down too. That's $400 for one ticket. And guess what? That ticket is all the way up top, all the way in the nosebleeds, where like your best view is gonna be watching it on the big old Titantron that's gonna be up in the air.
Yeah.
And at that point, you might as well be home listening to commentary talk about it
Or-
instead of the drunk asshole that's sitting right next to you.
Or on your phone when you're, when you zoom in, you'll be like, oh, so that's how they
Yeah.
look, so pixelated as well.
So for you to come on here and be like, oh yeah, they needed me, it's just like, no, they needed to do something different with their
Oh,
business
man.
model.
if I
I
could,
don't-
if I could also jump in and say one of the things that really hurts the most is that the Raw got announced after Raw went off air that Monday night when we were doing our Raw coverage show that we do every week
Mhm.
at 11:20 p.m. EST, chat. So if you're telling us that Rock was not presented on night 1, night 2, he was in fucking Hawaii posting an IG story, and then Monday after coverage that, Raw after Mania gets booked by Triple H and everything, all the WrestleMania weekend is done. All that's left is Shawn Michaels to kill a job by NXT, and we're wrapped. Now we go back to regular programming, to SmackDown after Mania, then we're done, and back to the new season, off season. But no, The Rock need to be on Pat McAfee, because everyone asks questions from night 1 until Monday. The Rock, why didn't you show up? Well, why were we part of it? This is the one quote that got me mad. As an Elimination Chamber approach, Triple H pitch turning John Cena heel. The Rock love it. So did Cena after the angle. However, The Rock decided it would be best if he wasn't involved at WrestleMania, as he wanted the spotlight to be solely on John Cena versus Cody. If that's the case, why did Travis Scott come out then? Why was it needed for him to do his entrance and his fucking long ass ramp? Like, what was the point? And it just sucks that during this as well, he never gave credit to Triple H. But the whole time he kept saying Nick Khan, he said TKO, he kept talking about Brian, I think was his name, or
Right.
sorry if I butcher, but he kept naming other people, not one, the chief of content of WWE, Paul Levesque / Triple H / The Game. He didn't give no Monarch reference of this guy. And it's like, yo, yeah, truly don't like each other then. Because last year, during the Rock and Roman at the press conference of Las Vegas in Triple H, and The Rock had a little small 2-liners, and The Rock said, you fix this or I will. Well, chat, now we know who fixed this in a year. It was The Rock. He said, you know what? I don't like how Triple H did shit, did all this. I'm going to do my own thing and change it up myself and do how I want. Makes sense why Cody left, probably mad. Probably it's kayfabe, probably. But it shows that he didn't like this idea or something, Travis Scott coming out or something. I'm probably thinking too much into it. But this Rock and Triple H thing is not working out too well in the backstage. Drop. I know you got some words. Talk to me.
Yeah, I kind of want to tackle the other part of the article, because that's another thing that seems like Rock is going into business of himself for that decision. But anyways, it says, my thought at the time, it was a litmus test to find out, in my opinion, how fans respond if Cody sold his soul to the final boss. Let's get a temperature check on this. Let's establish it. Let's anchor it in. You come to find out there were a lot of fans who were saying, sell your soul. This shit is going to be crazy. Whatever it is, it's compelling. It's going to be great. Let's do it. Sell your soul. So I was an advocate of that. Not turning Cody heel soon, but eventually down the line. I like the idea of that because Cody's a smart guy. He's an intelligent guy. He's a ring general. And I think you give him And I think if you give him a reason to turn way down the road, by the way, you give him a reason to turn, not based on titles, not based on this, but it's his soul and what that means. That affects generations. That's transcendent beyond pro wrestling and fans who are loving it, Johnson continued. So it just seems like just because The Rock did all of this years ago, and just because he envisions things in a way because of whatever relationship he's envisioning he has in his head of Cody Rhodes, that he expects it to go down exactly the way he thinks. But if you look at how things are, and you look at how kids were upset when Cody lost the title, not saying that that decision didn't need to happen, because if anything, that probably was the best decision to keep Cody hot, because I can only imagine the feedback if he won the match. But if you look at how kids gave a shit when he lost that title, it shows that they were heavily invested in the character. They love him. He's the babyface that he wanted. And you even saw people that were really mixed with this crowd to begin with when it came to just everything that was orchestrated around the time with The Rock. Like, I still remember this whole segment on screen. It was just really odd, really awkward the way he was talking. And it just seems like if they want to do this down the line, sure, but it doesn't really call for it because Cody's making the money. He's bringing them in sales. He's helping fill stadiums or venues wherever they go. It just seems like Rock just wants to play. I don't know. It's like The Rock's trying to play Sims or some fucking shit.
Well,
or he's trying to create his own house and put all these people in here, and it's just really fucking weird. It's like the thing is, he's not here to witness like all these different storylines going on. He's not really here to see how everything else is operating with everybody else in the roster. So if you're not connecting the dots that way, how is that going to fall in line? Because
I just want to add that you're bringing great valid points, because guess what? This is Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, for the past 10 to 15 years in the entertainment industry. You know, I got a perfect example right now for you. G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe, he literally took the job of, I believe, Channing Tatum being the main character. Spoiler for G.I. Joe, the sequel too. The main character, who was the first one, who was going to be, you know, like leading in charge of the Cobra, he died. You know, Channing Tatum died the first fucking 5-10 minutes, and guess who became the main lead? Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
The Rock.
And then in the next
Fast and Furious.
Thank you. The Fast and Furious, the next franchise, who had problems in the backstage, aka in the producer room and everything, directors and everything, and creative control, aka Vin Diesel and The Rock. But guess what? We never heard Vin Diesel having problems with Paul Walker, with Ludacris, with any other superstar. Sorry, not superstar. Any other actor, never. But when it came to The Rock, he's, you know, them two just butted heads. That's why, guess what? The Rock said, I'm not gonna do another movie with you. I'm gonna do a spin-off with with Jason Statham. I'm gonna do a whole spin-off and still be part of the franchise.
And Roman was in that one.
Yeah, Roman was in that one, and other Samoans were in that one. But guess what? The Rock has never connected to the universe with John Cena and Vin Diesel. Guess who got a long-lost brother? Vin Diesel got John Cena's long-lost brother. And guess what? We never heard of any backstage problems. And I got another franchise. The third one, the DC Universe. He literally did a whole promo with Shazam. Say, yo guys, you know, we're going to do a sequel with Shazam. But I was going to be Black Adam in that movie in the villa. But we felt Black Adam deserved its own movie. So Shazam is going to have a sequel called Fear of the Gods. And it's going to suck or not, it don't matter. I'm going to do my movie called Black Adam. And then the next movie of Black Adam is going to connect to the sequel of Shazam. And we're going to make a third movie of that. It didn't happen, because guess what? Black Adam flopped. Shazam flopped because they did not need their own stories. Because guess what? You cannot have Shazam without Black Adam. They're literally the flip toss of a coin, like Batman and Joker, like Superman and Doomsday, Lex Luthor, all these other characters. But Shazam literally not really needs Black Adam, but Black Adam needs Shazam. Like, you can have one or the other. With Shazam, he has his own little small type of roster of heroes and villains. I don't need to go more on that. But as you see, we have 3 examples of the ego of The Rock literally doing many opportunities with many franchises. He literally started to do that with Jumanji. He literally started the main role with Jack Black and a few others, where he wanted to get a Jumanji type of sequel. But guess what? It didn't happen. He also did a few of the moves with Kevin Hart. He tried to get a few of them and have original IPs. It didn't do that well. I've gone to the press. I've gone to fan screenings and press screenings for those. I met The Rock from afar, interacted with him a few times. Great person, great person to interact with. But I've heard stories as his ego, and obviously from articles that I just mentioned and stories, he's not the best person to work with because he wants to be the center of the universe, and it doesn't work well when we have literally a thing called WWE Universe, an established place already, and he wants to come in to the writers' room or producer room that got the biggest cock / ego and be like, yo, I'm here. I'm going to do what I want. I joined the board of directors. I'm your boss, a.k.a. Seth Rollins said it last year. We don't need you, old man, you bald-headed fuck. We could do our own thing. We are doing numbers in our own way. We don't need you no more. And I think Seth said, yo, Paul, let's change up the history. We don't need this man and be on SmackDown, sure, whatever. But let's be our own thing. Let's make our own story. Let's make our own saga, Paul. And hopefully that's the thing. Hopefully Seth is doing a big fuck you to The Rock and his ego. That's all I'm saying, because this really sucked. As a fan of many of these DC, G.I. Joe, Fast and Furious that have lived through this, I don't want to live through a fourth one. That's all. I don't want to live through a fourth one and see this one crash and burn. Mm-hmm. And I hope not, because I don't want to go through it.
No, definitely.
I mean, it already kind of started last year with that little documentary when he kept trying to take credit for the pivot, like that whole shit.
Yes.
Kept going on with him trying to get the freaking match with Roman. You know, like it was already starting back then. And I mean, just looking more into like the quote and all that, I mean, especially with like the stuff with like John Cena's heel turn, like, oh, this is just as big, if not bigger, than Hulk Hogan's one. It's just like I remember we had mentioned it. I believe that night too. You know, like, yes, the argument can be made for that. But however, what really cemented Hogan's heel turn was what happened afterwards. All the things that happened afterwards, because then we started to see the heel Hogan, the Hogan that like people had heard those rumors about and everything. And then with John, it's like, you know, we kind of got that, but it didn't really go anywhere too farther because we kind of needed you there, Rock. And even if you weren't there, we at least needed a mention of you, something to do with you, because you were involved. And the fact that, and I mean, I'm just kind of like picking from this quote that I'm looking at here with it. It's just like the fact that he apparently he called John and Cody. And it was just like, this is the greatest thing ever. Blah blah blah. Now it's up to you guys. The build. You don't need the final boss. Yes, we do. And then for you to come on here and be like, I watched the build for the past 6 weeks. I would have finessed it a little better. Really, you would have. Why weren't you there? Why weren't you helping at all? You could have done any calls to Triple H. Did you? No, because if you did, you would have been mentioned on TV, and you weren't at any single point, unless commentary did. Maybe commentary did. I don't know. I can't remember that. Why? Because sometimes for me, commentary is just white noise during a wrestling match, unless Pat McAfee says something dumb or whatever. And I mean that dumb comment in a fun way.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah.
I would like to add to the comment that you just mentioned, because this one also gets me mad. The Rock claimed that he didn't know about Travis Scott being involved in the finish of the main event of WrestleMania. McAfee then asked about whether people within WWE wanted
the Rock to be at WrestleMania matches.
And then he says, no, they don't have to say anything like that to me, because we can insert the final boss in the end of the finish, but then where do we go? There's other commitments that I have, and I have to also be careful we're not overstepping, leading over our skis too much here. I can get involved in the finish, and I said, but why get involved in that finish when the spotlight should be on John 17 heel champion? What does 25 look like if this man is saying he's going to ruin professional wrestling? That's, to me, the anchoring storyline. It's not so right now. Right now, it's not. By the way, we'll get back to it. I hate this comment of The Rock saying that is ruining professional wrestling is the anchor to the storyline,
God.
because now random fans, random people are saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's doing what he's saying. He's ruining professional wrestling." For like, no, chat. You need to understand one quick. There's a difference of ruining professional storyline
And
in the
bad
actual
booking.
storyline from John when it comes to his character, when it comes to no new entrance, just all black screen. John Cena, he's ruining the character for
Yep.
us who fall in love with. But he's not ruining the storyline. The Rock is the one that's ruining
Yeah.
the storyline, because he's literally peeling the spoilers, pulling the curtain of what is not supposed to be said in a professional way. And
Yeah.
he's literally talking to himself about himself, of a character that he plays in a third person, literally saying, "Oh, the final boss could be inserted in anywhere." And when the time is, and also
Yeah.
people don't tell me anything. Like, motherfucker, people tell you, you literally got a call from their con say, "Yo, my G, I don't got tickets going on for the mission. I need you to come." You definitely get phone calls. People definitely send you message. People definitely talk to you, and you're saying that you didn't know about Travis Scott.
On
You
the
were probably
board.
the one that said, "Put Travis Scott there. I'm not gonna make it." Where's the connection there? That pisses me off when The Rock is trying to do damage control, but he's literally burning more of the fire. Oh, sorry. He's adding fuel to the fire that what is already there. That was just more questions. Now we got answers to questions that we didn't have, but now we
Yeah.
have, and more like, "Yo, Rock, you're making Triple H look bad as a chief of content of doing his job for the past 2.5 years as a full timer, and you literally come in here like, yeah, I wasn't involved about that, so you're making his decision look bad now with Travis Scott because you put yourself in there as a final boss when you say I don't need to be
Yeah.
overstepping. So why did you come here and say, yo, Cody, I need you to sell my soul? Instead, I'm gonna have John do it with my 1, 2, 3. So why did you come back to Bloodline? I mean, not Bloodline. Why did he come back to Bad Blood and be like at the end after Solo and them did their thing, be
Yeah.
like, 1, 2, 3, I'm gone, bitch. What?
Yeah. See, now I'm gonna chime in so we can cap this off and
Yeah.
move on to our last thing, because I definitely do want to lay my finisher before
Yeah,
we
of
move on
course.
to the next thing. But like this whole thing with me, when it comes down to it, is I'm glad you brought up, for one, this is the first thing I'm going to tackle. I'm glad you brought up the whole thing about John Cena saying he wants to ruin professional wrestling, because that's been the biggest headache all week ever since that main event.
Super.
Because a lot of people looked at that where it's like, okay, you know, he's just doing that because he wants to give us a bad main event. He doesn't want to give him something cool. That's not what it means. It's what Vash said, ruining the image of John Cena, the character that he portrayed himself as, not an excuse for bad booking. People are legitimately using that as an excuse for bad booking, trying to plan it in your heads of like, okay, this is why it's happening. And you look at the thing revolving around The Rock, I mean, you're still going to get that big moment of John Cena becoming a 17-time champion, regardless if The Rock is there or not. If The Rock is there, that's not going to take away from the moment. John Cena becoming a 17-time champion, that's a history-making moment. So if Rock being there, adding to the story, and then you look at the things that The Rock said to Cody in the past about breaking his heart, don't do this to me again. I mean, the biggest revenge in the world is helping John get 17 by doing so and not having Cody have his happy moment like he did this year if you actually inserted yourself in this, because he was the one that put himself in this angle to begin with. So why would you take yourself out of the angle, put some random person just because they have the theme song of fucking WrestleMania outside of the weekend just to have the finish of the show? I mean, if Eminem came out, you probably would have gotten a bigger pop out of me because I give a lot of shit about Eminem more than Travis Scott, and I would.
Yeah.
But that's besides what. That's just me memeing. But I'm just saying, it's like you were the biggest pull of this. So it's like if you look at everything that he's saying and how he wants to take away, he didn't want to take away from the moment and everything. You didn't really need him for the
Bullshit.
storyline at all. Like The Rock could have just had his thing in January, and that's it. And then you could have had John Cena lose the Royal Rumble, win Elimination Chamber, and he could have turned right there. Cody could have confronted him. They could have had a little conversation with one another, and then John could have turned right there, and then we could have gotten, you know, a better build with him and Cody leading up to the event, and then John Cena could have gotten the moment there. You could have had Rock appearing on certain televised events, considering that. I mean, actually, no, I'm talking about this more without The Rock. You pretty much could have just had it where, you know, John did all this on his own to get this achievement and pulling heel moves in order to get the title. Because if Rock said he doesn't need to be there, then all of this could have been done on John's accord. He could have done it at Chamber. He could have very easily could have turned heel at WrestleMania. I mean, imagine becoming a 17-time champion as well as turning heel. So you're hitting two birds with one stone with that idea in mind. And just the fact that the thing that pisses me off the most is that he's, in a way, putting all of the blame on Triple H for this when it comes to, you know, all of the feedback that's coming from the critics online, when it comes to people like us, when it comes to, you know, the fans out there watching the product, because it's his idea, but just because things head south, he wants to explain it a certain way, and then it's going to look back on Triple H. And I mentioned this earlier in our chat that one of the funniest things that I noticed throughout the weekend when it came to Triple H's Hall of Fame speech, you had Triple H mention people like Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, you know, the Click, you know, all those people that was really close to him. And he took his sweet ass time. I kid you not, that thing didn't end until 4:30 in the fucking morning. But he took his time, and I applaud him for this. At the very least, he took his time to thank people that meant a lot to him in his career. And The Rock was also a big part of his career as well, but he did not mention The Rock at all when it came to their past history or anything that's currently going on right now. And that's very telling. And then you look at what Rock was saying during the Pat McAfee show. He didn't say anything about Triple H either. It was about Ari Emanuel. It was about Cody. It was about John. He didn't mention anything about Triple H. So obviously there's something going on behind the scenes between both of those guys, because out of all people, and we don't really see his name mentioned on WWE television anymore, he spoke about him briefly. I mean, for fuck's sake, Triple H mentioned Vince out of all people before even mentioning before even mentioning The Rock. And then that's telling. And the fact that, you know, he talked about him briefly, because obviously he didn't want to talk about him forever, but he was a big part of helping him his career. And the fact that he brings that man's name up, the fact that that name's pretty much non-existent in WWE right now because of everything that's going on with him, that's very telling that he's not even mentioning The Rock, like what The Rock's doing on the board, what The Rock has been doing when he's come back with whatever he's doing in the creative scene, or whatever. He didn't mention him in the slightest. So that's what pisses me off, because it definitely like helps us lead to our next thing, where it's like The Rock just goes a little bit too deep when it comes to telling people how the wrestling business works. It's one of those things where it's like, we know what it is, but you don't have to tell us. Like, we know things are the way they are for a reason, but you don't have to come out there and tell us, especially during podcasts like this, because it just gives the company a bad image if you're just laying out all these secrets about everything that's currently going on, and even taking some time to actually believe if this is legitimate or not. But
yeah, like, well, part of it too is just like, dude, it's like if you were watching Black Adam, which, you know, for all five of us that did, you know, kudos to us.
Yeah,
and I say us because
I didn't pay for that money. I'm like, nope.
Oh, oops. Well, I paid for it anyways. So it's like if he was in the middle of Black Adam and he's just like, by the way, everybody, my name is Dwayne Johnson. I'm playing Black Adam right now. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the movie. If not, well, go fuck yourself if you're not. But it's like, you don't do that in the middle of a movie. You don't do that in the middle of a play. You don't do that in the middle of a video game, because you're breaking the immersion then of the story that you're telling. Like, you're in this entertainment business of telling a story, and you're really going to break the immersion like that. You're really going to go up to somebody and be like, hey, it's all a work, dude. We know. We have to keep telling people that are outside the circle, yeah, we know. We know it's scripted. We know it's predetermined. We know this already. We know that there are works within the companies. That's not what the problem is. The problem is you guys are putting on shitty TV sometimes and your only excuse is shut up and watch. It's like, no, you are not above criticism. Nobody is above criticism. And for you to be on some high horse thinking you are, how arrogant do you have to be in your damn company to think that, oh, we're above all of this? No, you are not. You are not above that. Nobody is. And the fact that you want to put, like, I get it. A lot of people are like, oh, this is shit. Why is this shit? Oh, it's just shit. It's just like, well, that's not good criticism. What good criticism is, what constructive criticism is, hey, that this was bad. I would have preferred it this way. Well, I would have preferred it this way. Or this is why it works. That's what constructive criticism is, and that's how you build and grow. If you sit there and say, oh, just shut up and watch, that is not doing any benefit to you or your product. You are then just stagnating. You are plateauing your own product by saying and doing that. And guess what? I thought we were away from that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
I thought we had gone away from that. But obviously we fucking haven't. Because, and I don't know if this is like a lot of people want to point the blame at TKO, and I don't blame them, because a lot of this feeling was not around after, like, WrestleMania 40 last year was pretty much like the end of that mindset that we had from like the Triple H booking and dare I say the Vince booking too. And like after WrestleMania 40, we started seeing more of what the TKO stuff was about when it came to all this. And I'm sorry, I'm going on a little rant on this. We'll get to like what this Rock response was here just a moment, people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just like
I'll put the tweet in the doc actually.
Oh, perfect. But it's like you start to realize a lot of the stuff that was going on, all the marketing, all like how they were presenting the product, how they were presenting their superstars, how they were doing their stories and their storylines and their characters and all that. And like there were subtle changes, yes. But once we hit Netflix, things really changed. Like, and I can't really put an exact finger or an exact moment with it besides just that Raw on Netflix, because that's when The Rock showed up. That's when he gave that little shitty promo that he did where he broke everything, where he's just like, yeah, me and Cody are best buds. It's just like, you guys were trying to kill each other like a year ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now you're saying you guys, like, your moms are best friends now? Now there's no more, like, Mama Rose and all that. Like, now you're just shooting the shit like you're, like, best buds? What?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't get it.
I remember coming... Yeah, I remember coming on to that show that night and being like, what the hell's going on?
I remember too.
And us being... Yeah, like, us not being the only ones and all that. But it's like, I just don't understand. And, like... Yeah. And say what you want about certain reviews and critics and all that stuff. Like, I get it. Like, some people, they love to get, very loud and rant and blah, 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 all that stuff. Some people just like to stick to the middle of the road and all that, But, like, at the end of the day, we love what we love. We're very passionate about things, and we just want things better. I get the concept. I get the ideas that sometimes you guys put through. Again, the whole idea of John Cena ruining wrestling. I get that idea. However, like you're getting the desired response from us. Like you're getting that. And it sucks. Like it truly does suck, So it's like for people like me, I'm like in this like crosshair now where it's just like, I get what you guys are trying to do, but it's like I honestly really don't know how I feel. And like this whole week I'm just sitting here like I don't know how I'm feeling. I don't know how I really should feel about this.
Yeah.
Because like I'm being pulled in like multiple directions, and then to constantly get these interviews or these responses out being like, oh, just shut up and watch. I'm like, well, what if I don't? What if I don't want to?
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to come on here and just kiss whatever's ass, depending on what source of media that we're talking about. It's like us going to a restaurant. We take the order, we get the drink. Let's say I got a glass of water or whatever. I order my appetizer, everything's fine. Then I order my entree. Say if I want a burger. Now, let's say you want that burger done a certain way, and then you get the burger back, and then you got like, so it's moldy. There's the lettuce is all like nasty and like grimy and stuff, and you're just like, you know what, I'll eat it, it's fine, because I just gotta shut up and eat it. I went to a restaurant just to get some good food in my stomach. I'm just gonna shut up and eat it and not complain at all. No, you're gonna call the person, you're gonna let them know what happened with the order, and you're gonna have them come back with a new one. You're not gonna just eat it just because you want to be nice, or just because you gotta shut up and eat it because you're at so-and-so restaurant and that's just how things work. That's what the golden plaque says on there. No. That's not how things work. When you come to a movie, if it sucks ass, you're not gonna be like, that was a great fucking movie. Holy shit. Did you see that CGI? Did you see that little glitch there? Did you see that, like, that little plot line that made no sense? It's like the guy killed the person's family in the beginning, but then all of a sudden he's like best friends with him in the second act. It's like, no, we're not gonna praise something if it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. That's the kind of stuff you want. You want criticism because you kind of want that fuel under your feet to improve and be better. Not just hearing the same thing again. I've never been a fan of the whole being surrounded by yes men. That's something I never would want to involve myself with, because if I was fucking up, I would want to know, or if I would want to figure it out myself if the results were showing, not just accepting what's there. If it's not right, it's not right. People don't like a certain thing. It's not bad. That's how a lot of people are saying. It feels like the first time in a while that they've noticed Triple H is starting to feel rattled because of this. Because you've never seen him come out like this on interviews saying stuff like this. He's never been like that.
Freaking the roast where he's just like, I mean, not to bring that up again, but like the one thing I will quote from it, like, because he was one of the last few people there. Apparently, one of his lines was, if you didn't like WrestleMania 41, then I have 2 words for you. Fuck off. I'm like,
yeah, who says that?
Okay,
You're talking to your fan base
man.
that gives you money, buys your merch, meets your superstars. Like, what the fuck?
The way I hear that one, I don't think it's telling all fans, but it's more to the fans that like to criticize and nitpick and say, "Oh, bad booking." Is more to like, not really the casual audience, it's more to the people that like to bitch and complain. But still, and also maybe he was believing
bad timing with saying it.
Yeah,
that too. It's just bad timing.
Yeah.
The last thing I would like to add and chime in towards what Drop and Walker's been saying. If anybody, I always laugh about this. If anybody remember The Rock doing a promo for Black Adam when he first got announced, because people need to remember he got announced in 2012. He didn't have his movie until I think 2019, 2021 around there. And this man did a very famous promo. If anybody does remember or not, he literally said the hierarchy of the DC universe have changed. There's no Superman, there's no Wonder Woman, there's no Batman. This man literally had the audacity to call himself Black Adam and much bigger. He literally put his ego so on top in this promo, saying that he's bigger than Superman and Batman, who's been made since 1920s. Since the 1920s, these 2 comic book heroes has been made. Black Adam, I believe, is 1956 or 1960s. So he thought that this person, Black Adam, because he's portraying it, that he's bigger than them. And I'm like, bro, we have 7 fucking iterations of Superman, and you're gonna come out and be like, yeah, I'm bigger than Black Adam. I mean, I'm bigger than them. I'm bigger than the character of Black Adam, and the hierarchy of the DC universe has changed.
No.
I'm like, man, this is dumb. Once I heard that promo, I knew this man's ego is bigger than fucking Earth or the planets. It's like, bro, he's bigger than the One Piece universe. That's how much he thinks. So with that being the case, Rock, you're here. I've said this since WrestleMania Night 1, since Night 2, and I've said this since Raw. Please stay fucking away from the WWE universe. You're board of ed. I get it. You want to have a good income. Board of directors. You've been a good producer, businessman. You're good in the room and everything. But please, with all due respect, I have seen you. I met with you. Understand that these words that I'm coming from the heart, the things that my peers, my co-hosts have said, they're coming from the heart. It's not that we don't dislike you. We dislike you as a person from the ego stance as a business person. There's 2 different people. I've met you as a fan and everything. You're cool and everything. But as a business person, please stay away from the WWE universe, because I don't want the fans, the bookers, the people that likes to say what could be happening. I don't want us to be on your toes that you are part of the story. No, stay away from anything. Show up, be final boss, do what you want to do, have the lightning effect, be like, yeah, see this goosebumps, yeah, bro, cool.
Yeah.
Fuck them goosebumps.
That's
Yeah.
what I got.
It's
That's
Fuck
speak,
what I
that
got.
arm thing.
and speaking of which, now I'm not going to reiterate what Dave LaGreca said because that's essentially what we said
Mhm.
about the involvement with The Rock. But this pretty much stems from the post that I put in the document. It's The Rock's IG post. I posted up because our JD shared it on his platform, which shout out to him. I look forward to everything you do. And he pretty much responded to Dave LaGreca because he's a part of Busted Open, which is one of the biggest podcasts out there when it comes to wrestling. And he responded to Dave and he says, "Hi, Dave. The business is a complete work, always has been, always will be. Every aspect of it, every match, every interview. Please join me, Cody, Cena, Brian, and the rest of us for a creative discussion so you can expand your perspective. Until then, stop ranting. It's not healthy, my friend. Enjoy the show. P.S. Tell Bubba that I have Brand, Marnier, and Hush Puppies for all of us." So The Rock is telling Dave LaGreca that wrestling is not a real thing. It's a scripted sport. And he wants to teach him about the whole world behind the scenes. And that must be mind-blowing, knowing the fact that just like us, Dave LaGreca already knows that. But like we talked about on this show tonight, doesn't mean we want to hear it. So it's like the fact that he's approaching him out of all people, and he even said in his response, because I saw his response earlier this afternoon, that he doesn't hate Rock as a person. He just doesn't understand why he's approaching things in this manner without truly understanding the damage that he's doing to the business. Because it's like Dave had every right, just like us, to express how he felt about the main event. He wasn't a fan of how it concluded. He wasn't a fan when it came to just everything that was mapped out when it came to this road to WrestleMania, because I keep tabs on them when I scroll through TikTok and I listen to their little clips from their show so I could get the full scope of everything that's going on in that world and Busted Open Radio. So it's like the fact that, you know, he came to him that way and expressed himself that way. It's like, did he really take the time to understand what Dave LaGreca was saying? Or did he just see him venting out frustration? So he just came up to a quick conclusion and he's like, okay, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say that. Because he even said, I'm not angry. I'm hurt and disappointed with the response because I can agree The Rock could have handled that a lot better. And he just could have took the time to just fully understand what was going on, because to me it doesn't really seem like he understood what great Dave LaGreca was saying at all.
No, I mean that's the thing. He lives on top of his little mountain. That it's his way of it's his way and nobody else's way. Because I'm The Rock.
Yeah,
suck it. I don't know. It just it annoys me, and I'm sorry. Like once I heard that statement of like, "Oh, just shut up and watch," my mood towards everything immediately dipped. Like,
I don't blame you.
It just because I like this shit. I really like this shit, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like because I come on here too. I come on to our shows every single week. And I'm the wait and see guy. I'm the one that'll wait. I am the one that like will watch and all that. I will try to see where things are going, whether it's shit or not. I will try to like see the vision and everything. But if you're gonna act like that towards like us, the fans, or people who want to talk about this stuff and want to like outwardly be fans, it hurts. It really hurts. You know?
Yeah, it does hurt. Yeah.
It's very tremendous. Like when he said, like, where was the quote when he said, please join me, Cody, Cena, Brian. That's also like no Triple H, no that
Rock's,
chief of fucking content creative.
I believe that's
no
his
shout out to the guy
writer,
that's
too.
there.
I think that's his personal writer.
Yeah, I believe Brian is his own personal writer. And the rest of us. But then I love how he says, until then, start ranting. It's not helping, my friend. Enjoy the show. I'm like, but Rock, did you know that this is a show called Busted Open 24/7, and it's called talking about wrestling and giving them their own opinions about the content they're consuming? So how are you telling him to not do his job? because you literally just told him, don't do your job. Stop ranting. Dave has been a passionate fan since I got into pro wrestling content. I did not know any of these people back since WrestleMania 39. After WrestleMania 39, once I saw Dave being mad that Cody lost and everything, a year later Cody won. I believe he teared on his podcast and everything. He got emotional. He was very happy for Cody. He's a Cody fan, and he also was mad. Like, he was one of those people that say we want Cody's chance, and he was very impressed by that. I've seen Dave as a content creator, and to see this man like show the passion. I've been a fan of pro wrestling since 2002, 2005. And for example, my brother who put me into pro wrestling don't like pro wrestling no more. He has no interest in it. He will check it out here and there with me, but he has no interest because he tells me his stupid reason, because the script. I'm like, cool, you lost out of it, you lost the love, is all good. Me, I'm here, my girl's here. My girl's best friend was with us on night 2 of WrestleMania in the background, asking questions. Who's Joe Hendry? Who's this? She said, I'm here for the plot, a.k.a. Rhea Ripley, Bianca, and Io. That's what she literally called it, and I love that. Just seeing casual fans just enjoying the show, having a good time, and that's the best part of it. But then you're telling us that we should shut up, like me, Drop, and Walker, who watches the show but critique every week Monday, every week Friday, every week Thursday now about AEW, NXT, and any other small type of shows. You're telling us to shut up about it, but telling my friends, the girls in there, they say, hey, they could enjoy the show though, but Vash and Walker, could shut up, enjoy the show, don't have no opinions. Like, that's the most stupidest thing. Like, you're the guy who's a board of directors. Your words literally give content creators in this industry content to talk about because of your stupidity.
Yeah, so we might as well just disband Weebs of the Ring if that's the case.
Because we can't talk about it.
This whole project that we've been working on over a year, when it comes to the Instagram reels, when it comes to the X posts, when it comes to TikTok clips, when it comes to Grappling with the Week, the Raw coverage, SmackDown coverage, PLE coverage, whatever the case may be, future merch. I mean, you might as well just burn all the shirts that you possibly can, Vash. That's never going to make its way to light. It's pretty much telling people not to do what they do as a profession, or at least coming on here, if they're not doing it as a profession, to do it as something that they enjoy doing, which is talking about wrestling. Like, that makes no sense. There's so many loopholes in that.
And you have also Nick Nemeth. You have also Matt Cardona, join Busted Open, who are wrestlers in your industry. Wrestlers that was an indie god and one. Nick Nemeth, who was Dolph Ziggler in your company. Join Busted Open, and they also can also give an opinion question. Or is it only Dave Rock just that shows passion, that shows questionable to your work? And he says that, this is a business of complete work. So then if that's the case, why didn't you stay true to that? If the business is complete work, everything is, and every aspect of it, every match and every interview, then why were you not talking about Triple H? Why were you not talking about, hey, Travis Scott was part of the plan? Your Triple H did a great job. Even if you didn't think he did a great job, for example, Chad, just to, peel curtain, who does every single thumbnail of Weebs of the Ring since last year he took over. Would I tell him, yo, Drop, that was an ugly ass thumbnail on screen? No. Why am I gonna make myself or my co-host, my partner, make himself look a fool? No, I'm gonna talk to him off screen like, hey, I think we could do a better idea on this thumbnail for next week. Let's do that. Let's have a discussion, a team meeting. But no, you're going to throw your peers and not even mention names. Just say, no, back creative. No, Dave. Enjoy the show. Just have, I'm going to stay shut. I was about to go more in. No, I'm going to stay shut. No, that's all I got in the nice words. I'm not going to be like the roast and just get canceled. I'm going to just stay shut. Like, yo, Rock, if you ever want to get interviewed by us, we'd love to have questions for you. We'd love to have questions for you when the time comes in the future.
Yeah, Bash is about to go in on The Rock.
Yeah, have fun doing that.
Yeah, but man,
I will leave you behind for that one. Have fun.
I mean, it's even like JD says in this post that we're using as a reference to The Rock's Instagram post, the absolute finest example of delusion. So it's like he's not even believing what he's saying or even following through with it.
Yeah.
Like, like the whole comment section. I'm not gonna say their names and everything, but there's a person saying he's trying so hard to justify it. He's an idiot. He stepped back because of plenty of people called them out for the obvious of the aspects of an angle, and the dumb fuck realized he didn't need to be involved. People people aren't upset because they got work. It's because we didn't get work. That's the thing that people need to realize, is that we're not mad that you're telling us that you didn't give us the work or nothing. We're mad that you was even part of it and wasn't even there for the job that you was trying to show us.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I know, and look, chat, for the people that have come on for the stream, for the people that are watching the VOD, for people that are seeing for the clickbait, people that are seeing the search and the tags for this stream, we appreciate you watching this video and everything. But understand this, won't be the last time this will be mentioned, because I know damn well for the next 6 months, a year, this is still going to go on, and we're going to bring that, because this is the point of the show, Grappling the Week, to let out frustration. Also, the people in the comment section, if you're here watching us, we're live every week on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. ST. So if you want to let us know how you feel, there's for Q&As in the future, there's things for super chats, you guys support us, that's all. Because if we're here telling you guys how to feel, that's wrong. No, we're here telling you guys feel how you want, but let us know so we could talk about it. We will never tell you to enjoy the show and shut the fuck up. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly. But that's all I have to say. Do you have anything you want to say before we move out to our outro, Watkins?
Man, just criticism's fine. Fine to be wrong. Just admit it. It takes more strength to admit you're wrong than it does to run away from it. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
The last thing I would say is have accountability. That's literally what Watkins is saying, but just simple words. Have accountability. Rock. Other people, Nick Khan. Don't talk about your product saying that you guys are the underdogs. No, motherfucker. You literally just bought Triple A. How are you the underdogs? Like, how? That's all I got. Like, just know, love your fans, love your product. If you want to still be a multi-billionaire product company and doing what we're doing, know your fans as a core. That's all I got.
Yeah, and honestly, know your role and shut your mouth. Follow your own advice. So,
exactly.
So, again, guys, I want to thank you all for coming by for this episode of Grappling with the Week. We are 14 episodes in. We are about to hit 15 next week. That's great. Again, thank you guys for all the support. That's awesome. We currently have 9 likes on this video, almost 110 views total for this episode. So Grappling with the Week for these past couple of weeks have been doing really great. So again, we always appreciate all the support that you guys are giving us. And
if this video gets 10 likes, I will give Sydney a treat tonight.
Yeah, if the video gets 10 likes,
throw that out there.
Watkins will get
all three will give our dogs a treat.
Yeah, mine's right here.
Yeah.
So right there,
right behind me. So I want to thank you guys again for listening to Grappling with the Week. And before we head out, as always, be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. When it comes to me, drop this box, Watkins MW, to see what Watkins is doing. Legend D Vash, see what he's up to, as well as the Anime We Studio, to see what other projects are going on with the company, as well as the Weebs of the Ring account. And make sure to follow that hashtag Weebs of the Ring so you can interact with us during Raw, SmackDown, PLEs, anything else that comes to mind. If anything explosive happens throughout the week, be sure to follow that hashtag. Your feedback is always appreciated, as we are nothing without you guys tuning in. Keep that in mind, Rock. Grappling with the Week is presented by Anime We Studio. Thanks to our production team for all of your hard work. Thank you for joining us, and shout out to Stu, which he's in good care now, for helping with the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow for our SmackDown coverage, where we get to see our boy Aleister Black make his big return to WWE. Peace out, guys, and have a good night.
Yeet! Yeet.